Hello. Hi. How are we doing? Are we doing well? Hello. Thank you, Zoom. Appreciate it. Hi, Judah. How you doing? Are we doing well? Hey, I'm just a little late. It's not that deep. It's not that deep, okay? It's not that deep. Anyway, hi, Unc. How you doing? Are we doing well? And hi, Crocker. Hello. How is it going, everyone? My name is Crocker. Something like that. I don't know. I'm not good at doing PewDiePie impressions, it seems. Now let's make you go wild. Not really. I went wild the last 2 days. I got like copious amounts of Megalosaurus mutation. I killed like at least 2,000-3,000 Megalosaurus babies over the course of 2 days. 3 days. 3 days. Right, 3 days. I started on a day for sure. Here's Croc. Hi, Croc. Hello, mortal Croc. Anyway, we've got some videos I want to get through today. Anyway, most of the drama I've already recorded, so that's nice, I guess. Yeah, it was something. It was something. Okay, aren't you excited for the video? I don't know honestly what to expect because I've never heard of this actually, that this even existed. So there's that. I don't even know that this existed anyway. Yeah, we're gonna do the video on the thumbnail as well right after this. We're gonna go through a couple of things, I suppose. And that's really all that matters. Wait a second. It's interesting. See, fun fact, there's a community day for Pokemon Go. To be fair though, I barely care about it, I'll be real. So there's that, I suppose. Right, I barely care about it. Not really, at least. So what I do is I usually just get 2. And that's it. Like as many shinies as I need. God, I hate the AR function. I fucking hate it. Fucking hate that shit. Anyway, I'm wasting way too much time doing something that's completely pointless. Anyway. Because you always need to make these pictures so you can get some more encounters. It's always a bit stupid anyway. Regardless, we're gonna get in this. My video is will make you cringe. There's a bunch of videos. Hi Kaiser, how you doing? Are we doing well? What games did you get? So for one, I got Final Fantasy 13-2. It was like $3.99, so that's how I got. Why is your chin so sharp? I've transformed into being a Giga Chat. When exists to get trait. Build Pokemon games to breed for shinies, pretty much. But even that doesn't really matter. Even that arguably doesn't really matter. Though, I guess now it will matter. Maybe that's another reason why they are the way they do. Right? Maybe that's the reason. Why they're doing it the way they're doing it, I suppose. That would kind of make sense why they're not closing banks. So maybe they can make more money off of Go and shit. So there's that. Right? That has always been the option. Wouldn't be the first time they would do something like that, so there's that. But yeah, I got Final Fantasy 13-2. I got Overlord 2. I got The Lost Remnant as well, so that was nice. I've got a bunch of games. Divinity 2. Right? Because I saw that and I was like, you know what? I want all these, right? I want all these. Yeah, bank is shutting down. Yep. They really want to lock you out of what? Good question. What do they want you to lock you out? They want to lock you out of like a lot of stuff. Money. Hi, Eliza. It's been a while. Hello. Hello. Hi. You exist. It's been a while. It has indeed been a while, but yeah, I haven't gotten the second shiny fox yet, so there's that. Well, can't really do much. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting that this is going to happen. And yeah, and they're obviously going to sell you the solution, right? which ultimately is going to be remakes, not remakes, but like ports upon digital ports upon digital ports, right? This is going to happen. And there's nothing we can do about it. Anyway, I've yapped enough. We should get into some reactions. We should get into some reactions, I suppose. Hello, it's been like months. Oops. Somebody got swallowed by the void, I suppose. You could say. More or less. That's what happened. Right, if that is what happened, you could call it that. Anyway. Yeah, we're just gonna go over. The first one is a little weird. Over that, we do the Men's Mental Health Month one. Then I will probably do the chibi Doki clips, because those are supposedly funny, so there's that. Got a couple of things I want to get through. I mean, it's gonna affect me. I've got every non-legendary on every Pokemon. It will affect me as a shiny hunter because obviously it's gonna probably lock me out of shiny Poipole. It's gonna lock me out of shiny type Null. It's gonna lock me out of Celebi. It's going to lock me out of Mew. It will lock me out of the shiny Ash Hat Pikachu. It's gonna lock me out of a bunch of targets that I will no longer be able to get. So there's that. Quite unfortunate, but yeah, you can't really do much, right? That is, they made this decision and now people are fucked. Anyway, we're gonna hop over now. Oh, hello. Oopsie. Alright, let's do this. Yoink. Now we're here, over there, everywhere. The usual. Yeah, the first one is interesting. Very, very interesting. I think that's the term I'd use. Quite an interesting video. I can stop complaining. I'm absolutely complaining. This is horseshit. This is not supposed to be happening. I mean, it does now, but like it was not supposed to be. Oh, and for the Megalosaurus, I'm 15 health mutations, 6 melee mutations, and 2 stamina mutations in. Yay! That's gonna take a while. Anyway, let's have a look-see at this. What happened to PewDiePie? Legend of the Brofist. By the way, I've never heard of this. I have actually never heard of this, that this actually exists, right? I've never heard that this is a thing. So yeah, that's a new one. That is indeed a new one. Never heard of this. So I am actually quite curious what this even is. I'll be real. I got no idea. Don't know. This is by Calvin. Calvin, because there's 2 E. Anyway. I wish they'd update the games and be able to use event Pokemon on Go on mainline games. Yeah, forget it. Not in a million years. Yeah, we're going in. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Oh, he's gonna play it. Interesting. We're gonna look at this. That already looks like a fever dream. We also have the pugs here, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
PewDiePie Legend of the Brofist is a mobile game that was released on September 24th,
a mobile game. I remember it was something that was in 2016. See, I remember like this like PewDiePie streamer simulator, right? That I remember, right? Right? That I in fact remember. Fair, right? That one. Okay. But this one I actually do not know about. Like I've never seen this. I've never heard that this existed. It's a PewDiePie game released back in the day. Okay. I don't know, bro. Never heard of this. Anyway, it wasn't going to stick around for long. Hopefully everyone had an enjoyable day, night, and fun and a fun stream. Take care, Kaiser. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
2015. It's a 2D side-scrolling action-adventure platform game developed by the indie development studio Outer Minds in collaboration with, of course, PewDiePie. In late 2014, Felix first showed off a small bit of an incredibly early version of the game. In it, he asked his fans for input on what the game should be like.
I will need your bros' help to fill it out. I want to make a game with you bros. So I want you bros to help out, come up with anything you can. I want all your bros in.
Probably still a more fun game than like 90% of the games that are released nowadays that have that are absolute slop. It's funny. I remember playing this on mobile. Why does everyone know this, but I completely missed this? When did this happen? The only thing I've seen of PewDiePie in this video is about making councils that tried to overthrow him. Funny. Very fun. Very funny. Very, very funny.
Put on what this game should be, because I feel like this is the game for you bros after all. So I want you bros to really feel like you take part in it and taking part in making it. What kind of story do you want a game like this to be? What kind of gameplay do you want a game like this? Which characters should it be in this game? What enemies should be in this game? What abilities should I have? All these things. I want you bros to just go crazy in the comments and let me know. If you have any cool ideas, just let me know and we're gonna go through as much of it as possible.
It sounded like he genuinely wanted input from his fans and was excited for his game to be made. His fans also seemed excited and many people gave their input. We now flash forward 9 months and the game was finally released on iOS and Android. It received a very positive reception. It reached #1 on the App Store and grossed over 100.
Interesting. Grossing over $100,000 the day of its release in the United States. Hey, this was actually not doing bad. What the fuck? Well, Perkin, now who's the unk? Not me, because if I've not heard of it, that means, and you have, that means technically, arguably, you are the unk. Right? Logically speaking, of course. Right? Technically. Anyway, I've never heard of this. This is new to me. This is news to me.
$1,000 on the first day, which was obviously very good. Big YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie himself were playing it, and the videos did receive a lot of views. So that begs the question, why does nobody talk about PewDiePie Legend of the Brofist anymore? Was this game only loved by PewDiePie fans and failed to reach outside of his audience? Was this game only praised because PewDiePie fans would have praised any game that he made and the game itself actually wasn't that good? Or is there another reason? Maybe it has something to do with the past.
Maybe also, so here, right? That's what an unk would say. I will touch you. See, there's another option. It's because it was a mobile game. Unless like it got a PC port or some kind of other port, right? It's a mobile game. So that probably hindered its success. Because you play mobile games? Disgusting filth.
Controversy of someone in the game. Or maybe Felix simply wanted to bury this game and just forget about
Yeah, the game failed because he dropped the N-word on the bridge.
it. It's a hard question to answer, especially since PewDiePie saw even greater success with his second game, Tuber Simulator. Felix revived that game with his iconic.
That one I remember. That one I remember. That one I've played, right? That one I've actually played a ton, right? That one I remember.
Ads that he put in all of his videos at the time.
What? You never played Tuber Simulator?
And I'm sure he could have done the exact same thing for Legend of the Brofist, but he just didn't. And what's interesting is when you look at PewDiePie's description for any of his recent videos, you see only 2 of his games listed there. I say we try to find the answer to why people forgot about the Legend of the Brofist. To answer why nobody talks about the Legend of the Brofist anymore, we'll first have to look at the game itself. I played through the entirety of the game. I did not 100% it, but I did beat the main campaign along with every level including the optional ones. If you guys do end up enjoying this video, I'll make more videos covering the rest of PewDiePie's games, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. But for now, let's dive into the Legend of the Brofist.
I'm curious. Okay. Well, it was a platformer, that much is clear. Bro, the game was released before the N-word drama. True. In this case, probably something, maybe something with the deaths, because that was mentioned, right? Somebody controversial was in it. Anyway. Yeah, the mobile games, sure, buddy, are not mainstream, but also the Lappy Bird. It's getting better. You're discovering the art of bad spelling, like the guy who made all these games that we've reacted to. That when it was removed from the App Store, people were selling phones with it on eBay. People buy anything nowadays, don't they?
The game starts with Felix finishing up another classic PewDiePie video.
And that, bros, is how you make bread using your butt cheeks.
He then finds out that the video somehow got 0.
What? Okay, fair. How to make bread using your butt cheeks, part 1, by the way. Fair. Fair.
Views. This time it's not the algorithm that's against him, but the barrels.
All your fans are belong to us.
So that's what we're in store for today, huh? So you kill the first barrel and the gameplay starts. Your first objective is to keep Marzia safe. You move around with your left thumb and jump with your right thumb. It does control fine, it's just not my favorite way to play a platformer. In December of 2015, this game was released on Steam. That version had a co-op mode and controller support. Playing this game with a controller sounds like it would have been so much better. Playing on the phone is definitely doable, but it's just a little inconvenient and uncomfortable. Going back to the game, you jump around, collect bro coins until you get to the bedroom where you dig in a pile.
Wait, what? Bro should clean up his bedroom. Unless he wants to end up like a certain roach man. Anyway, peak game script. Yeah, games. My videos not getting traction. The barrels are starting to attack me. I must protect wife. Absolutely.
Pile of clothes and find Marzia. And thanks to the fact.
Fair. Huh, such a misogynist. Anyway, of course I forgot hating barrels was his thing. Is he just Swedish, DK? He might be.
That I played this game on an iPhone, I could not, at the time, read what it said when you found her. I figured out how to get rid of that white bar later on, but it was just so annoying. So Marzia is now following along with you. After that, I spent a good amount of time collecting coins for a while without ever even noticing that there was a pink arrow. So I followed the arrow and dig through a pile of clothes to get some headphones, and then I realized I have a bunch of stuff I need to collect. In this very moment, I was scared the entire game was going to be like this. Just an endless arcade style game where I just collect items from piles and different levels while dodging barrels endlessly. But thankfully I was wrong, as you eventually find keys to a car and leave, but not before getting a call.
Interesting. So eventually those barrels start intruding everywhere. No poke of the barrels hate is an amnesia thing. You ruined the joke. You ruined the joke. They still have something in common. They eat barrels.
All from the Barrel King.
I captured all your fans, and soon the legendary Brofist shall be mine. The legendary Brofist? The hell is that?
I actually love how Felix.
Wait, he voices the Barrel King and himself. Makes sense, finding women in pile of laundry, their natural habitat. Don't say that. Don't say that! You will get cancelled! Don't do it! Don't do it! Why is everything on the piles of clothes, bro? Can he not clean? Probably not. Bro does not know how that works. That's probably why Marzia was probably, under the pile.
Voiced his character and the Barrel King like he would in one of his videos. It just feels really campy, I don't know how else to put it. Marzia, along with every other character in the game, also has voice acting from the original people.
Capoons, you have to say your fans.
It does feel like she's phoning it in a bit, but it's not just her, I promise.
Yeah, thanks for the rescue. Now let me help you. My eye and I will guide you through this place.
And I'm not a fan of a lot of the pixel art for when they're bigger. This game looks fine when things are small, but the bigger portrait.
Yeah, I feel like the pixel art is, honestly, looking at how weird the faces already have been, I feel like the art itself is probably... I think it's on purpose. Yeah, I think it's on purpose. Sure, you may not like it, but I think that, right, I feel like that's on purpose.
Are a huge hit or miss for me. Anyway, Felix and Marzia set out on a quest to stop the barrels from obtaining the legendary Brofist.
Now I can get back into bed and eat snacks all day.
Every single time you beat a level, you are greeted with this dancing PewDiePie that I feel a strong urge to kick every time I see it. Every character does have their own unique dance, which is kinda cool. Once you beat level 1, you get to see the map, and it's laid out like so many other level-based games. There's a menu filled with power-ups and characters and upgrades you can buy. There is a good amount of unique abilities that accommodate for many different playstyles. The playable characters are Felix, Marzia, Markiplier, Cinnamon Toast Ken, Cryotic, and and Jacksepticeye, along with a bunch of different costumes. There's also a duck character that you can unlock by collecting all of the collectibles. And all these characters—
Ooh. Completionist energy here. I should play this. I should stream it. That's a joke, by the way. I won't. But still. The only cans I'm scared of is my Netflix subscription. You use Netflix? Weak. Very, very weak. All subscription services are communism. Anyway, moving on.
come with their own power-ups and gimmicks. But of course, most everything is locked at the start. There's also a collection screen showing you that there's actually—
That's a giraffe with a gun! Based?
a decent amount of optional collectibles. At this moment, I only have enough money to buy a couple things, so I buy Martzia and a healing ability.
Ah yes, we continue the trend. Now he's buying women. Now you can buy women as well. 10 out of 10. I bet you don't know how the people he just mentioned. Probably, very likely. Where else but Netflix am I going to watch Troll Hunters? Well, I can't tell you that.
And set out for level 2. There's also a level difficulty you can select. And because I ain't no bitch, I went for the hardest difficulty that was available, Bro Mode. The next level has you escaping from General Barrel as you hop from car to car. If you jump on the street or lose all of your HP, you die and have to start from the beginning. This level is the hardest level in the game. Yes, you heard me right. Level 2 is the hardest level in the game. No, it didn't help that I played on Bro Mode, but I played most of this game on Bro Mode as well. And the best part of this level is you only see one other level like this in the entire game. Okay, so why is this level so hard? First of all, it is completely different from—
For one, it also looks like you're being harassed by ducks. That's rather interesting.
that first mundane level. Here you're introduced to the cars, exploding barrels, gas barrels, barrels that shoot at you, and rolling, jumping barrels. There's these ducks that blend right in with the background. The first time I encountered them, I literally thought they were just visuals. And don't forget that General Barrel is chasing you down as you're hopping from car to car. And you have to figure out how the cars move and which parts of the car you can actually stand on. This is level 2. Level 1 had stupidly easy, no-risk platforming. That level had a few different types of barrels in it, yeah, but it was such a safe environment where you could figure out how all of them work and none of them were complicated to grasp. And not to mention, you weren't on moving cars the entire time. Yes, like I said, I made this a lot harder on myself by playing on Bro Mode, which means every hit counts for 3 hearts. But even if I played on the easiest difficulty, there is such a learning curve here and so many new things here, I feel like it would have taken me a bit of time regardless. By the way, in these levels you have Edgar and Maya following you around. They serve as an extra hit for when you're about to die.
I can't believe this. The level takes place on a bridge. Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing. He does know he's going to say the N-word on a bridge.
Which is nice. I did eventually conquer level 2 and oh no! General Barrel has you cornered!
Nowhere to run. Deliver yourself or get blown to smithereens.
But not for long, as you get a call from the one and only Markiplier.
Wait, I'm getting you out of here. Jump on my jet.
You're what?
How? What? What? How? Why? Why does bro have a jet? Odd. Very odd. That's not what I would expect.
Oh my god.
Top tier storytelling.
Where did you get a jet?
Oh, that. Just something I got on the internet.
The next level is an auto-scroller where you're flying on an airplane. This level is stupidly easy compared to the last one. At the end, you kill General Barrel and set out towards the North Pole to kill his brother. After that level, Markiplier becomes a playable character. From this point on, I won't be going over every individual level. We would be here all day if I did that. So in general, this game is actually pretty good. It throws a lot at you and always stays moving, which can be nice, but at the same time, it can be very annoying. Like, how was I supposed to know that this cutscene had even ended and that this T-Rex was going to kill me in one hit? The game
I don't know, maybe the indication that the hearts popped up. Anyway. Markiplier has a jet because he's Markiplier, don't question it, I suppose.
Feels like it's trying to be too many different types of games too fast. You go from a basic tutorial to cars to planes to a linear platformer to having to just survive the clock to another few linear platforming levels to a boss. All of those different types of levels do work just fine in this game, but I went into this game blind, and after the first 5 levels of this game I had no idea what to expect. It of course ended up mostly being a linear platformer, but it does take a while to know that. So it can feel like a lot sometimes, but it controls very well overall. I'm no expert in level design, but only one thing stuck out to me as terrible game design. In this one level, penguins are coming out of the left side of the screen, which if you're playing on mobile you can't see them because of your thumb that you need to use to move. So during this level I ended up playing just like this. Nothing else stuck out to me as terrible, which is obviously good. However, there was one glitch that I found. If you die and reach the end of the level at the exact same time, you are given this awful noise. I will also add that it took me a
Oh, well, that's an issue. Then to be fair, that's very oddly specific, right? In most cases, probably that won't happen. In most cases. Now, yeah, fair, but like one glitch, it is not that deep.
good while to figure out that I had to dig up collectibles in this game. I'm not totally docking points for this because they do show you that you can dig in level 1, and I guess the collectibles are meant to be secret that you have to find for yourself. I was annoyed once I realized how many collectibles I missed, and I didn't enjoy the levels to the degree on where I wanted to go back to get the extras. But regardless, they are a nice touch to the game. And this game is not completely linear, there are some branching paths to be had. At some point during each level, this camera octopus thing comes out and takes your picture. At the end of the level, it'll give you the option to post it online for your friends to see, which does sound cool, but the picture is always taken at a fixed point in each level. So I wonder, how unique can this feature really get? Oh look, at this point in the level I was jumping! Oh no way, I was running there! This isn't a big deal, I just feel like it'd be cooler if you could send the octopus out.
So I have a take. Honestly, kind of a missed opportunity. I would have just dropped this on Steam, I'll be real. Probably it would have not been that hard to do that, I'm assuming, right? Just drop it on Steam, problem solved. I'll be honest. I see no problem, that could have worked easily.
Whenever you wanted to. And as it stands right now, I just ignored it and it felt like a waste of time. This game is decently difficult playing on the bro difficulty. I stuck with it until this Christmas level that just kicked my ass. I wouldn't say that this one is particularly hard, but it was moderately difficult and so very long. I just got fed up with starting over and switched to hard mode. And this is when I lost my mind. There's checkpoints in this game? You're telling me I could have used checkpoints in that awful car level? I can't stress enough how this genuinely blew my mind. Bro mode did not have checkpoints and every hit took 3 hearts. Now every hit takes 2 hearts. There is a lot more hearts that spawn in, and there's checkpoints that fully heal you. I know I did this to myself, but I had no idea how much harder I was making it on myself. From this point on, I played on hard mode the entire time and felt no.
Isn't that just... that's a skill issue. That's just self-inflicted. You can't flaw the game for not having checkpoints when the difficulty mode is exactly that. It's a feature. The difficulty mode has it as a feature that there are no checkpoints. That's not necessarily smart, anyway.
Shame for it. Unfortunately, hard mode is actually really easy. I just flew through the entire rest of the game after this. Every level was a piece of cake. I hardly even worried about taking damage given how hearts spawn so often, and especially since the checkpoints fully heal you. I really do wish there was a balance between these two difficulties. I would love a difficulty that was the same as bro mode but just added checkpoints that don't heal you. But instead you have to play a game that's either too easy or too tedious. Let's talk about the story.
Where did you get that copter?
It's really just whatever. You're making your way to the King Barrel to free.
There's a fucking duck controlling a helicopter? Well, that's new.
your fans and stop him from obtaining the legendary Brofist. And I hate to say it, but this game really wasn't funny either. Everything is based off old school PewDiePie, and I didn't really watch him a ton back then. I am sure so many references flew right over my head. There were some things that I understood.
Probably because, you know, this may come as like a shocker or something. Probably because the game was made exactly for that. For the fans. Haley Quackter. That's actually not bad. That's actually not bad. Okay, why are you in this game? Hey! Fair. I can't fight it anymore. Right? It is established I'm a duck. I didn't even decide on it.
Like Stefano's a character and you have to fight Falcon Lover.
I accept the contract.
This story may be way more enjoyable if you were a huge fan of PewDiePie during this time, but since I wasn't, it just didn't do it for me.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to be naughty.
Everything just felt so to lols random, which I'm willing to bet is at least a little bit in line with old school Pewds.
Jack it up.
When playing levels, I would see a lot of random stuff and I couldn't figure out if everything going on was a reference or not. Like, is this exploding cow here for no reason, or is this a reference? There's characters like Shannon and Jennifer that I have never heard of before. So maybe I'm not in the loop as much as I should be to play this game, but the theming of everything and the story in general is just so bad I feel like you need to know the references to enjoy it at all. However, if you do enjoy the story, do not let me stop you from enjoying it.
I got an idea. Attach me to the rope and bear witness to my power.
Stefano. What? Okay, some of those I genuinely don't get either. I had a duck as my doctor once. He was what is this? Why are we here? I'm just here to suffer, aren't I?
Guys?
I really could talk about and dive into all of these levels in specific a lot more, but by now I'm sure you all understand my overall thoughts and how the game works. So let's skip all the way to the end. We are now on the moon and we're fighting the King Barrel himself. This is the ultimate battle to see who will claim the legend of the Brofist. You can see Felix's fans in the background and you could tell they kinda got lazy with it. They made a few sprites and just repeated them all through the background. But we cannot afford to worry about that right now because we need to stop the King Barrel.
You've done well to come all this way. But as you can see, I've contained all your fans. All that is missing is you, and the legendary Brofist will be mine.
It doesn't work that way.
This is a pretty solid
Stefano the GOAT. Most of these from Amnesia, considering that made him famous. Interesting. Well, I wouldn't know.
boss fight, perhaps a little too drawn out for my likeness, but it wasn't too bad at all. It took me a few tries and I finally did it. What's happening?
Whoa! The legendary Brofist! How did you do that? I got the fans. I should get the power.
Can't get the legendary Brofist by force. Because it's in your
heart. That's so cheesy, though. That's so cheesy, but fair. The legendary Brofist. It is not taken. It is earned. He made a spirit bomb out of his fans, or that, yeah.
your heart. You are empty inside.
Of course I'm empty. I'm a barrel.
You should never mess with the bros.
Never. So then the entire gang's dancing and the credits roll and now
Wait. Did I just see him? That Minecraft YouTuber, the one with the white mask? I forgot his name. Fuck, I forgot his name. So popular, I forgot his name. Anyway, you get who I mean. That's pretty interesting. Oh, surprised seeing him here. Interesting. Well, yeah. The bro fist is for all the friends we made along the way. Indeed, it is.
now it's over. When I first killed King Barrel, I was on hard mode, but my phone ran out of storage, so I couldn't capture the fight at all. So I redid the fight, but played it on the easiest difficulty to just get the footage. And what I found out was the second half of the boss fight is just skipped entirely, which I hate. I hate to think that I may have been missing out on content for the entire game because I wasn't playing on a harder difficulty, but for the most part I was, but I just hate that in general. So I talked a lot about the pros and cons of this game, but what are my overall thoughts? Is this game worth the $4 on the App Store or the $8 on Steam? If you like platformers and you
Never mind, it is on Steam. Hey, that's actually good. Never mind. Hey, if it's on Steam, sounds actually good.
think you would enjoy what you just saw, then honestly, I think it's worth it. This game is not perfect, but it does give you a few hours of fun game time. And if you're looking for a good challenge and want to 100% the game, then you have a good challenge here. I know they won't, but if they wanted to completely revamp the game, they really could. If they organized everything a little bit better, touched up the story, and added some touch-ups here and there, they would have a very solid game on their hands. And if that happened, that's a game I would probably enjoy a lot. But since that's not the reality, I don't foresee myself replaying The Legend of the Brofist ever again unless you guys want me to stream it or something. But it was alright, I did have fun playing it. I mean, after all, I did beat it and then proceed to write a 4.5-page script on the entire game, so it could not have been that bad. For a small indie team and for PewDiePie's first game, I think they did a great job. At this point, it's obvious that this game was made directly for fans of PewDiePie, and perhaps that, along with the fans' heavy involvement, is why it didn't receive more long-term success. At the time of the game's release, I was not a huge PewDiePie fan, so I never even considered picking up the game, despite the fact that I was a huge platformer fan myself. And
Shocker. Absolute shocker. The game's made for PewDiePie fans. Could have not told. Wouldn't be able to tell that isn't Dream. But why does it look like Dream? Anyway, looked like Dream. Anyway, wasn't the Minecraft related to MLK? I don't know. How do I know? How would I know? How would I know? I don't. And
this game wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good enough for people to really vouch for outside of its own niche. And not to mention the fact that this game is very dated. Most new school PewDiePie fans will not understand many references at all unless they do their research beforehand. Earlier I mentioned that some controversies may be a reason why this game has died. I'm not speaking on any controversies with Felix. I am talking—
Oh no. MLK said, I have a dream. His dream was communism, by the way. Anyway, I've said nothing. Of course, I said nothing. I never say anything. I mean, sure. But it really, I don't know. The whole thing, like, he didn't expect it would happen, so, like, it doesn't really, I don't really care. Right? I don't really care. He didn't expect that it would happen, right? But these people obviously don't know what they were doing, so there's that.
Talking about Cryotic, one of the playable characters in the game. No, this is not Dream, but they do rock similar.
All right. It's not Dream, but yeah, I was about to say, right? Okay, it's not Dream.
Aesthetics. Cry and Felix used to collab a lot, and they seem to be good friends.
I will
Cry. Do you remember?
what?
September.
But as of 2020, it's come out that he was grooming minors, and thus his controversy began. He was kicked off.
Well, never mind. Yeah, never mind. I take it back. Out with this man.
Twitch and hasn't uploaded on YouTube in almost 2 years.
Oh, Cry.
Do you think there's something between us?
Shh. Let's not ruin this moment with words.
What the fuck? Why did it all of a sudden turn gay? Anyway, I remember this guy. Okay, so yeah, if that's the because of one person, if that's the reason, I would find it interesting. Whatever. Anyway, how do you not know Cry? If you know PewDiePie, they did so many collabs. They're so bad. That are so bad now because of this. That aged so well. That aged so terrible. It started becoming gay.
Poots, what are you doing?
If Felix wanted to, he could promote Legend of the Brofist again and perhaps even get a similar resurgence like Tuber Simulator did.
Man, it looks so good. Who wouldn't want to buy this game? We can see my nipples. Yeah. That's a big selling point.
But I theorize he'll never do that thanks to Cry. I'm sure he's also very aware of how niche and
Couldn't you just like literally nuke him? Couldn't you like literally remove him as a playable character and that's it? Like it really isn't that deep. Duck, hi! Hi, Samax! Hi! Hello! How you doing? Are you doing well? Hi! Hello. Now looking back at this scene now, it didn't age well. None of these did, probably. Right? He's a usable character. You could just patch him out, right? Problem solved, arguably, right? You just patch the man out and you should be good to go for the most part.
dated this game is. Tuber Simulator is a game where you don't need to be as much of a PewDiePie fan to play, and any references to him are pretty subtle, because outside of that he just serves as a narrator and a guide. So I get it, why not push the more casual game that has a more widespread appeal? At the end of the day, Legend of the Brofist was just a small trend that came and went. It wasn't a terrible game, but not good enough to stay relevant unlike Tuber Simulator, which is still relevant, god damn it. That's all I got. PewDiePie made more games that I'm willing to bet a lot of you guys don't remember or just don't know about in general. And if you want to see me cover those, let me know in the comments below and subscribe so you don't miss it. And PewDiePie, if you somehow come across this video, you are more than welcome to react to this on your channel.
Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the video, right? So there's that. Yeah, I didn't know that this existed. Obviously, the Tuber Simulator, I've played that. I've put a lot of hours into that, actually, especially when it originally released. But yeah, this one I did not know about, so interesting. But okay, would you forgive your friend if they... No, I would not. I would certainly not. No, I would not. No, I would not. Anyway. I'm doing well. Have you been? I missed you. I missed you too. How have you been? You doing well? Is nice. I'm doing well. I'm doing great. I'm doing for that. Life is good. I bought a ton of games yesterday, so that was nice, right? I'm stacked now for at least a few years probably when it comes to that, because at the pace I'm playing these games, right? Which will probably at least for another year on Arc. But unlike Monster Hunter, I actually enjoy this. Because most of it's just brain rotting, egg hatching. But yeah. Here we go. Alright, we got that done. Nice. Now we're gonna do the video on the thumbnail. Right? Let's do that. Then we can make the chibi video. Bro, I just swapped to German. That is fantastic. Right? That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Randomly swapped. Anyway, we're gonna look at this, right? Because Unc recommended it. Right, I just have like most of the drama stuff pretty much I'm done with, so there's that. There will be no ref video today because I got all the ref videos already. Anyway. Why so many people hate Men's Mental Health Month by Misha Petrov. I like Misha. I watch her occasionally, right? My phone, I even got the notification bell on, which I actually don't do that often anyway. And her recent stunt with identifying as a trans black woman, which means, yeah, transracial. To rage bait the people. Anyway, it's kind of funny. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, here we go. Here we go. Code switching. Yep, that's the term. That is the term. Anyway, we're going in.
Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Bullshit propaganda.
Cry more about mental health. Boo.
600,000 men a year? Not enough.
Not my problem. Designed solely to silence women and queer people.
It's June, which means it's...
How about we do this, okay? How about we do this? No month for anybody. No month for anybody. ever at all. We're all equal now because there's no month for anyone. How about that? Right? Straight up. Problem solved. I've solved all wars. Oh yeah, I'm currently trans for 3 days. Bro is rage baiting the people on Twitter. Very interesting. Do you think they'd celebrate it if it was Muslim mental health? Yes, it would. They would celebrate it. Yes, undoubtedly they would. Right? You'd see like big like how do you say this? Like it would be in the news. You would see it on national TV and you know all that stuff, all that good stuff, right? They would absolutely do that. They would celebrate 100%, right? Guaranteed. Cuz yeah, it just makes sense.
Men's Mental Health Month. Yeah, surprisingly, a lot of people don't actually know about that. Last year, we took a look at some people who were very upset, getting triggered over June being both Pride Month, as we all know, and Men's Mental Health Month. And as a lesbian, this has never bothered me. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I know we're going to take a look.
Wait, what? That's news to me. When did that? That's a DLC I've not heard of yet. Okay, fair. What? I did not what? I did not expect that. That came out of nowhere. That came out of left field. Is that bait? And it's ma'am. Wait, what? That's crazy. I did not see that coming.
Look at a lot of queer people all seem to follow a certain script that this is taking attention from our gayness. May I remind you, if you need gay to be involved, gay men benefit from conversations about men's mental health as well. We'll get into all of that, but I do think most normal people, regardless of gender or sexuality, probably feel the same way. They have fathers, they have brothers or sons or friends, partners or whoever, people they...
How did you not, bro, did you not know Misha was gay? Well, she's so obvious with it. I do not, I did not get that ever. That's so interesting. That's so interesting.
Genuinely care about, and they care about their mental health, yet every year there is this reaction. People roll their eyes.
Oh, men have it so easy. Why do they need a month? Who cares?
That kind of thing. And I want to challenge that assumption today, if that's something you believe, because while men and women do face different societal pressures for sure, different challenges, both experience struggles that can seriously affect their mental health, and those struggles don't exist in isolation. So when men are suffering, it affects the women and families around them. When women are suffering, it affects the men and families around them. These issues are interconnected. Starting off with this video that has almost half of...
It gets more funny. I should move myself over. It gets more funny once you realize and you look at the data and you know, right? Woo for the win. The UN has a global Mother's Day, but not a global Father's Day. Interesting. Right, when you look at the data of what we're dying from overall, we die from the same fucking shit. You'd be surprised, right? We die from the same stuff. We have the same issues for the most part. We practically die from the same shit.
Million likes titled, "Why should I care about a man's mental health?" So we have some great signs. A septum piercing. And is that Eddie Munson? You're simping over a male character? Not a true misandrist.
Why should I care about a man's mental health when the only thing a man has ever said about my mental health is you must be on your period?
Here, I'll be the first woman. You sound like you're on your period. If the only thing that men in your life have ever said about your mental health is you must be on your period, yeah, that's very unfortunate. It's hard to believe that no man has ever cared about you, like not even a family member, but okay, let's say you're telling the truth. That is still a strange argument here because men's mental health awareness is about half the population. Half the population collectively is not saying women's mental health does not matter.
See, the thing is this. Maybe it's also that the men that you surround yourself with are shit. Have you ever considered this option, right? Because it does exist. I know, crazy take here, but maybe the people that you surround yourself with are shit.
By your logic, if some women have dismissed men's struggles, does that mean we shouldn't care about women's mental health either? I think this is all resentment based on personal experience, and most people have had members of the opposite sex dismiss their feelings at some point in their life, but actually the same with people of the same sex. Think about it. If you're a woman, you've probably had a woman say something similar, or if you're a man, you've probably had a man say something.
Here's the funny thing, right? Did you know that about half of all misogynistic comments are from women online? Yeah. There's a study. It was a study, survey, whatever. But you'd be surprised. Half of them are from women. Anyway. Hi, London. How you doing? Everything well? Hello. Did you do anything of my reactions today? Not yet, but I will. I got to do all my videos today, pretty much, for the most part, so this is fine.
Something similar. In fact, that's actually more popular, I would argue, where men say, hey, man up, don't cry, men don't cry, that kind of thing. This does not mean the obvious conclusion is, okay, yeah, I hate all men, I hate all women. Can we just use our brains? Next, men's mental health is a load of BS, just bunch of men playing victim for women to feel bad for them. I think a lot of men try to put on this persona of, oh, I'm so macho, nothing gets to me. This is a very popular heterosexual dynamic. The man is the provider, the woman feels safe with him, he doesn't cry, he never softens, he never opens up about what he's feeling, and the woman is the one who can be emotional and all these things. Now, a lot of that is also rooted in biology and the way that men and women are different. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the issue arises when men feel forced to hide everything. That is not healthy and won't end well. But what this man is arguing is many of the men play victim to gain the approval of women. But I would argue that most women do not find that attractive. Yeah, for sure, there are some pick-me men who do the whole, oh, no one likes me, man, whatever. And it's in like the sneaky way. They're trying to find a girlfriend through pity. But that doesn't work. Already, I don't think that...
I stand for women's rights. I stand for, uplifting women. Woman power. So, can I get, some action? What do you mean, no? What about all the feminist posts I made? What about all the slogans I said out loud? How could you? Anyway, I feel like most of these dudes are really just doing this because it gives them access to what they want, which is puss. Hot take. That's a hot take, I know, but a lot of... Or they're gay. There's two options. They either lie or they're gay. Moving on. We can't even keep misogyny. These greedy feminists want everything. Sad, sad.
This is accurate, but let's hear him out.
You're out here watching 24/7. You're out here defending, crying and moan about mental health. Boo.
So we are starting off by talking about pornography, which I do think is a serious problem, and I've talked about it many times before. I think it affects both men and women negatively. It contributes to loneliness, distorts relationships, but that's exactly why I find this argument strange, right? If someone is struggling with addiction, isolation, any kind of destructive habit, those sound like reasons to care about mental health, regardless of gender, not reasons to dismiss it. So I'm not following.
Nobody loves me, but you out here treat people like shit. You out here trying to troll people on here. You're out here just doing the stupidest shit on the planet, but we want people to feel bad for men's mental health.
Isn't he exactly doing what he's doing right now? Is he exactly not complaining about it? Right? Is he not just Anyway. Pick-me guys aren't attractive, but men being genuine with their feelings and opening up actually is... I suppose. I don't know, maybe.
Me, I don't give two shits about it. Because you do it to yourself. You want women to feel bad for you, but it's like... You do it to yourself.
I also think this proves how much you center women, because in your mind you're thinking, oh, these men want to raise awareness for men's mental health because they want to look a certain way to women. But what if women aren't even part of the conversation? What if they're not part of the equation and men just genuinely care about their brothers, about themselves, about their fathers, whoever? and their mental health. Like, that's also a possibility, right? Like, not everyone is a pick-me boy. This might be some projection. I don't know. I don't think absolutely everything is about finding a partner. There are many reasons someone could be struggling mentally. Yes, isolation is, a huge part of that. Many men have been assaulted. Many men have experienced all kinds of different types of trauma, substance abuse, grew up in a dysfunctional household. I mean, the list goes on and on.
See, it's also interesting, right? The whole thing with, like, oh, the male loneliness epidemic. That the way people framed it on both sides does not exist. Well, not in the way not in the way that people make it out to be. The male loneliness epidemic, as they like to call it, right, is actually has little to do with partners and more so to do with that men have started isolating themselves. They don't go out, they don't have many friends, they are in big contact with their families, they essentially they run out of society, and that is a problem. That is a problem, right? Sure, maybe parts of it are also, not finding a girlfriend, a wife, a woman to marry, right? A way to start a family. Fair. But it originally started out as men do not share close friendships, or do not have close friendships anymore. I'm hungry, then get some food. How long does it take to get nom nom?
And same with women. Not everything is about, let's all raise awareness because I want a girlfriend, because I want a boyfriend. No, why is that where your mind goes?
Because you don't want to grow mentally and spiritually and whatever. Because most of you are dead inside. You have no empathy, you have no morals, you have no self-respect.
If someone's dead inside and they're struggling, even with things like empathy, again, more of a reason to raise awareness, to talk about mental health, to talk about this lack of empathy we're seeing, I would argue not just from men, but from women nowadays, right?
And you want others to respect you, yada, 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 and you want some sympathy because you got some mental health problems. You do to yourselves.
You're also taking the worst stereotypes about men and then using them to justify not caring about an entire group of people, a group you're part of, by the way. Like, does your mental health not matter? Some people in a group behave badly, therefore nobody in that group deserves compassion. No, that's silly. There are absolutely men who consume too much pornography, as he mentioned. There are men who are rude, who are immature, who are selfish, who are unpleasant to be around, and there are...
But there are also women. But he likely won't make a video about those, is he? Probably not. Just drop to the bucket. Not a biggie. Hi, Cricket. How you doing? Everything well? Hello. This screams male feminist pick me. Probably. We replace friendships with Funko Pops. I mean, that cannot work. You want to know why? Isn't the company behind the Funko Pops doing worse than it has ever in the while? As far as I'm aware, bro said nom nom, what the hell? You would understand. This is me and how the Apple talk.
Women who are rude, who are selfish, unpleasant to be around. But the existence of bad people does not invalidate an entire conversation about mental health, right? Like, on one hand, we're told men need to be more emotionally aware, more self-reflective, more willing to discuss their struggles. And then when mental health is brought up, the response is, well, I don't care. You did it to yourself. Okay, so which is it? Are we trying to encourage healthier behavior, or are we just looking for an excuse to dismiss people we don't like? Because if someone genuinely believes that a group is suffering from things like addiction and isolation and all these things, those sound like reasons to talk about mental health, not to mock it.
Apparently, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Bullshit. Propaganda, whatever.
Propaganda. That's a new one.
And the men are getting mad because nobody gives a because nobody cares about their mental health. But, like, here's the thing, the men don't care about their mental health either. Because if they did, why don't you motherfuckers just, like, commit yourselves into the psych ward for the next month? There's a bright idea. They'll care about you there. They'll give you the attention there. Also, like, we've been...
Hot take. Therapy, the way it does not work for men. Most of the data that we have, right, when it comes to therapy when it comes to psychology, a lot of it, a good portion of it, is actually based on studies with women. We actually have barely any literature about the treatment for men, because the same things do not seem to work. Right? If you've seen that one video where Dr. K talked about depression for men, about half the men that went to him that wanted to end it did not show any signs of depression. They literally sat there, looked at their life objectively, and said, I'm good. What's the point? Right? We need more data, but who's going to fund that? Nobody was willing to fund that. So there's that. I can fix her. You're not fixing anything, buddy. You're not going to fix her. She's going to ruin you. Yeah, nah, no fixing.
And saying for a very long time, there's a mental health crisis amongst the men. I mean, hey, 99% of rapists are men. I would go out on a limb here and say there's probably a mental health crisis going on there too. There's a common denominator.
Yep, for the women as well. We have more women on some medication than we've ever had in human history. What does that tell you? We're all mentally ill, just to varying degrees.
Right?
You arrive at the conclusion that men's mental health awareness is stupid. So if you genuinely believe there's a crisis, wouldn't that be an argument for more awareness rather than less? Bringing up rapists doesn't really address the point either, because the overwhelming majority of men are not rapists. So just like when discussing women's mental health, we don't judge all women by the worst women. We shouldn't judge all men by the worst men. Mental health awareness is supposed to be about helping ordinary people who are struggling, not assigning collective guilt to half the population. It is important to have, especially other men.
The thing is, like, you can turn and twist their logic around, right? Because you can absolutely pull the all Muslim card with their argument. You can also technically pull the all women card, because most people that kill their own children are women. And no, I'm not talking about abortion. But yeah. Infanticide is mostly women. Therefore, you could pull the argument, right? It's not all women, but always a woman, right? What are we doing now? See? Not all Muslims, but always a Muslim. See? Not all black people, but always a black person. You see where I'm going with this? There we go. Also, less studies about the treatment for men's mental health, because less men seek treatment than women do. It's much harder for them even just seeking social treatment. Like speaking to a friend, indeed. Don't think you can fix daddy issues. Not even the psych ward can fix these issues. These people want redeemed murderers and child. But not the average man. Because the average man is exactly that. I mean, book talk exists. Fair. But what women want in fiction is not what they want IRL. Start to hate when people fix me, not all of them. The problem is that it's not all of them, right? That argument doesn't work. That's the problem. Oh my god. By the way, Duck, do you remember the lady that went to... Yeah, I remember that. Is she still alive?
And be more comfortable talking about their mental health.
I came here to check on you, just to let you know that everything that you've gone through turned you into the person that you are today. And that doesn't negate your feelings or emotions. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. Never underestimate the hole your absence would leave if you weren't here. No matter what you're going through, right? You never have to look like your circumstance.
Men's Mental Health Month and Pride Month being in the same month makes perfect sense. Half of y'all aren't battling demons, you're battling repressed gay thoughts.
That's for some odd reason homophobic? Is this the so-called dark woke? No, all French people are cowards. Technically, Have you ever seen the French protests when they wanted to increase the age of retirement? The French are not fun to be around when when it's about their age for retirement. I'd actually argue theoretically the Germans are greater cowards. We are greater cowards than the French because we're not we're not blowing up our own infrastructure when politics aren't going the way we want them to. They do that. We don't. We take it like good boys and good girls because daddy government is going to fix it.
Half of them, really. Where are we getting those numbers? I'm just curious. If a man is struggling mentally, the real explanation must be that he's secretly gay. I mean, are there men who are repressing their sexuality? 100% yes. But you're reducing every male struggle, every discussion about loneliness and depression. You're probably just gay. Not much else can be said because this is not even an argument. Men's Mental Health Month. Don't you bully gay guys? Yes, some bully gay men 100%. Some gay people bully other gay people too. But what does that have to do with whether...
You should see what gay men do to bisexual men. That's also very interesting. Germany bends over for it. Exactly. That's what we're doing. We're but far greater cowards. Anyway. Speaking of daddy government, you should watch the women's suffrage video this stream. Yeah, I have it as well. Don't worry. I have it. The reports of bisexual men, right, being harassed by gay men need to be studied because it is crazy. Also, have you seen the recent thing about bisexual men shaming women for not wanting to date bisexual men? Have you seen that one? I have seen that one, right? I've been in the middle of the war zone looking at this. I'm like, yeah, they don't want to date a man that also dates other men. That's completely fair, right? Anyway, with doing it help? I doubt they care. You in fact have to pay to rebuild everything. Well, they did care that for the French, they pulled that offer. They pulled it back, right? They did not do it, and they tried it twice, and they did not do it because the French population said, "Fuck you! I will retire at 60, like late my mid-60s, and if you don't let me, I will burn down some cars." They're not doing that here. They're not doing that here. They're gonna increase that to 70 the next few years, and nobody's gonna bat an eye because the boomers don't care.
Men's mental health matters. It's another example of taking a real issue and then using it to dismiss an entirely different one. Men's Mental Health Month? Where was the sympathy for men when other men were ruining gay men's mental health? Again, those men matter too. In fact, raise awareness on why it's not okay to bully gay men or to bully straight men. Like, it wouldn't be okay to bully anyone. Well, it's also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month too.
There's no such thing as evil people. Just ordinary people who do bad things because they're unhappy.
Jump.
What?
Jump.
It's very productive. We're telling people to kill themselves because they're mentioning Men's Mental Health Month. And you knew when you saw that septum piercing, there's a lot going on with this specific piercing. It's coming out from the sides, it's going up to the brow.
What is that? What is that a hammer and sickle? Why do I see an odd similarity? Maybe I'm schizophrenic. What? Do you see it as well? The nose ring theory. The nose ring theory is not right. The nose ring theory is actually nothing sexist. It applies to all people with nose rings. Sometimes you can fair. There is the odd one out, right? Where like someone actually has a brain, right? But for the most part, nose ring, yeah. Women don't want to date bi men because they see them as fully gay. Same way women don't want to date bi women because they see them as fully straight. Do you mean lesbian women? Because why would a woman date a bi woman if she's straight? Wait, I'm confused. The tats are Satanist. Are you surprised? Can you do one of my reactions next? I can. I'm just getting annoyed when people beg for it. That makes me want to not do it, right? It's like when your parents tell you to not to use your markers on that white wall, and then you say, you know what? Fuck you, mom. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and you can't stop me. Yes, obviously lesbian women, yeah.
I think I saw like the devil on the neck. Amazing. You are proving the point why these conversations are needed in the first place, right? Why we need mental health support, because this is not normal. Jump.
We lose 108 men every day to suicide. It's okay to not be happy. It's okay to not feel aligned in your life. It's okay to feel like you're lost. I've been there. I'm still here sometimes, and it comes in waves, but I want you to know that people care about you. I care about you. If you ever need a video where someone cares about you, I am here. This is me. I know exactly what you're going through. Some days you don't even want to lift your head off the pillow. Some days you have to manually breathe in the shower because you're having anxiety attacks. Some days you feel like no one understands you and you're speaking a different language. Some days it just doesn't feel like anything's worth it anymore. But I promise you it is. I promise you there's light, and I promise you that all of this is worth it. God is molding you into the person you're meant to be. I promise you. Don't ever give up.
I don't give a f about your mental health if you don't care about fighting for women.
The men are gonna come out of the woodworks and talk about their mental health for...
Why would I fight for a person that hates me? Right? Why would I do that? Why? Date this guy, if he ever cheat on you, use a big magnet. Bro's just gonna be like... You're gonna be like Magneto at this point. I draw on the wall when I was a kid. Outrageous. I didn't. I did draw on doors, though.
Men's Mental Health Month, and then demand that you as a woman give a f about it.
I haven't seen one video from a man saying, women, I am demanding you to care about Men's Mental Health Month. Most of the videos, when you search this up, are women and men mocking it, and then some men and some women taking it seriously, offering support, talking about how to improve your mental health. I haven't seen anything where it's like,
listen, you stupid bitches, you have to care about men's mental health.
What is she talking about?
Let's all keep in mind that these men who are going to be posting about men's mental health have done absolutely zero advocacy work for women over the past year. Let me also add that the biggest victims of men's mental health struggles are going to be the women and children around them.
So even more of a reason for you to care about it. This does affect women, so why are we against Men's Mental Health Month? Like, what is so triggering about it to you?
Most of these people are just virtue signaling. We need to realize one thing. Most of these people are just virtue signaling. They don't actually care. Because if they did care, they would be in countries where women are getting beaten. They would be in countries where women are jailed, for example, removing a piece of clothing. Where women cannot get an education. They would be there, but they aren't there. Because, see, it's worth fighting for until it's your life is on the line. Then all of a sudden, it's no longer worth it, right? That's the funny part, right? That's the interesting part. When we look back at history, people died for their ideals. Now there's just like, I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna post a comment and feel like I've saved the world. Oh, so it's this type of video. Yep, it is. Also, hi GT, how you doing? Are we doing well? I think I forgot you. Have you seen the Batman videos, motivation videos? Yeah. Corn bad. You deserve real love. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Unk knows.
The only person responsible for the management of your mental health struggles is you.
100% true. This applies to women, this applies to men. All right, if you feel like it is your responsibility to pick yourself up, to go improve your diet, your sleep, get off the phone, go see a therapist if need be. Worst comes to worst, you need meds, that's also fine. But it is in your hands. No one is going to come in and save you. It is your responsibility to improve.
I also want to remind you that women are not responsible for why men cannot talk about their mental health struggles. Do I have to...
The problem is there's a slight issue with that. So the problem, right, is that like get therapy is not that easy. Reason being, you would need the infrastructure to even do this, right? You need the infrastructure to even do this. Main problem here in Germany, if you wanted to have a slot for therapy, right, you would need to wait months, possibly years to get one, because there's not enough space for people that would need it. In fact, they're actively making it worse because they need to save money, because simply put, our healthcare system is it's too much. It's too much. It's strained to the maximum, so they're cutting corners. So there's that. And guess whose fault that is? Ah, yes, the boomers who didn't fuck enough. Anyway, did you hear about the Bao thing? You mean Bao the not VTuber? You know, I started flesh posting instead of being a VTuber because you know, I just could benefit off it. Next, you're gonna see a real IRL OF or Fansly. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. Anyway. Why would I advocate for men who don't advocate for women? Okay, why would he advocate for women who don't advocate for men? Exactly. The ignorance of some ladies of this world, indeed. I hate that American healthcare isn't free. Landon, the idea of free healthcare doesn't exist. Healthcare isn't free. It's not free in Europe. It's just tax funded and it's underfunded. There is no free healthcare. It doesn't exist. It may be affordable here, but you also have negatives from that. You have to wait months for treatment. There's a chance you probably die before you actually get a doctor's appointment at a hospital. You get nothing here. It isn't free. It is tax funded. And the worst part of it, give it some time, 10, 20 years, and nobody's healthcare on this planet isn't free. No one's. Because they simply cannot afford it anymore. There's a prediction that most European governments will essentially be spending most of their money that they get, the tax money, on social stuff. Most of retirement and healthcare. Because they didn't... Simply put, you want free healthcare, people must have children. Oh, well, not free, but like, you want affordable healthcare? People must have children. No children, no affordable healthcare. That's the thing. It's all tied together. The idea of free doesn't exist. It's tax funded, right? Fair, it's more affordable here, but it's shit. Like, it's actually shit. It's not great. But you worked too much. It doesn't cover. It doesn't cover most things here either, right? It just does. Like, if your teeth are shit, no, but right, the healthcare won't deal with that, right? If you're like in your like 70s or something, and your teeth are becoming shit, right? Good luck with teeth. You're not getting any. You're gonna start eating with a mouth with no teeth. Gonna be a guy that decided to go out there and spent money and effort to give people free stuff. Free exists, and so is freedom. Well, freedom doesn't exist. Well, freedom only exists to a certain degree, and that is when you affect others. Then freedom out. We live in a society. You are confined by rules regardless, which is a necessity. The jobs that are predicted to grow the most in the next few years are jobs in elderly care. Until that will stagnate as well. There's a harsh reality. People didn't have enough babies. People aren't having enough babies. And so societies will collapse. The systems will collapse. That's a reality. And yet the same people who are like, oh, right, the people who are like fear-mongering about, oh, they're all gonna, like, these people, they're gonna replace us. They have more children. Yeah, that only applies for 2 generations. After that, it normalizes, and then they also have like 1 or 2. This will happen to every... We live in a global population decline. It will happen. It will happen. And there's nobody to take care of infrastructure and everything that needs to be kept alive. Yes, they will replace you. They will. But they will still die out either way.
care about random men on the internet's mental health? No, but you do have the space to speak about that. But you guys chose to listen to Andrew Tate and fall down the red pill pipeline, and now you think that going on a walk will fix your schizophrenia.
Not schizophrenia, but going outside, touching grass, spending less time on the phone will definitely improve your mental health in general. But of course, if you're dealing with something like schizophrenia, you need professional help for sure.
Here's something that people don't tell you. Working out has strong correlation with a better mental health. If you are feeling awful, if you're mentally unwell, sports might actually be a great way to improve that. A strong correlation with people who are depressed and start working out and the improvement that follows. Anyway.
Sure. I don't know. Did Andrew Tate say that? Did he say schizophrenics just go take a walk, don't take your meds? I don't think so. If he did, okay, that's wrong.
Men on a mass scale start advocating for women's issues and start caring about liberating women, maybe then women will give a about your mental health issues, but that is not going to be this June.
What are we liberating women from? We're talking about here in America. What are we fighting for specifically, girl?
You guys have not put in the work to deserve the sympathy and empathy from women and the work from women to advocate for your struggles.
I don't know, you seem to think that sympathy is something people have to earn through political activism. Like, people don't apply that logic anywhere else. We don't usually say someone has to campaign for another group before they're allowed compassion. Now, again, she's 100% right that women are not responsible for fixing men's mental health. Perhaps some very lonely men and very lonely women who are very bitter, who can't find a date, who blame half the population for that and think it's the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever, responsibility to date them. Then yeah, I know those exist and I know that they probably agree with that. But normal people do not think this, and that is not a common argument. The responsibility for improving your life, of course, ultimately falls onto you. You acknowledging a problem existing and having awareness around it is not the same as asking women to solve it. You're assuming every man discussing mental health.
The issue is, right? The issue is that there is some truth to this, that a lot of these problems start when they are children. And when they're children, they cannot be responsible for it. Because they are responsible with how they deal in the future, but they're not responsible with how they got it, right? That's a big differentiation we need to make, right? Because you can't put the blame of the position of where a young man is if the parents were shit. Right? You can't do that. That's an issue. And considering how a lot of parents really don't want boys anymore because they don't know how to deal with boys, because society particularly isn't boy-friendly, we have a slight issue here. You're right, but sports is hard. Not really. Right? You don't have to even do much. Lift like maybe 2-3 times a week. Problem solved. By the way, Abel made 3 chibi clip videos, but I'll keep it to 1. Okay, fair. Also, I shadow clips how you're doing well. Or, you know, or just rub one out 60 times till you get a cardiac arrest. Don't do it. Don't do it. You will not be able to satisfy a woman if you go that crazy. Women aren't responsible for fixing men's mental health, but if we can help them, why wouldn't we? Going out of your way to avoid helping someone is so dumb. Indeed.
Is some super Andrew Tate fan who hates women. But also, most men are not those red-pilled podcasters. They're ordinary people dealing with stress and job loss and family problems and relationship issues and anything that you can also struggle with, girl. Okay, you don't have to personally care about every random person on the internet, but I don't understand why recognizing those struggles has become so controversial.
As a man, I know how hard it is to open up about things in your life. You know, as a man, we've always been kind of taught to keep things dug deep down inside of us, not really open up about our life that much or tell people how we're actually feeling, because as a man, you're supposed to be this strong, independent person that can go through anything and do anything in life. But the reality is, even though we are men, we still need to let out a cry every now and then. You can open up about things in life. You know, I know it's hard because we've always been taught not to. Opening up can really help you out more than you think it can.
When somebody brings up Men's Mental Health Month during Pride Month, right, because it's the same month. They're both in June.
Boo-hoo, shut up, boo-hoo, shut up.
And that's what
Wait until these people find out that actually they're not born. There's a good chance they're actually not born by this, like this, but it's their environment. Yes, fun fact. There's a lot stronger correlation between environment and being LGBTQ than there is genetics and LGBTQ. Fun fact. Because yes, there is no LGBTQ gene. Anyway, moving on. The less you control yourself, the harder it is to do. Meaning that you need to control yourself and force yourself to do things that are good. You don't like, buddy. Godzilla had a stroke trying to read that and fucking died again the third time. Anyway, I'll just slowly lose the ability to do it. So here's the thing, right? Discipline is doing something that you don't like you love it. I don't like getting up every single day and working out. I don't like it. Well, not every single day. I do take rest days, but like, I don't like it. There are days where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I'm doing it anyway. Instead of doing what feels good, we should move people to doing what is good. Anyway.
Okay. Why does this have to create conflict, though? I think we're capable of talking about more than one issue at a time. Acknowledging that some men are struggling does not take anything away from gay people, except maybe a little bit of attention, which I'm fine with. I feel like we get enough attention as it is, with all the rainbow shit that you cannot escape, and the half-naked men and women with whips and chains, with their doggy masks crawling around at the family-friendly pride parades. I think we get...
Yeah. And here they even walk around completely butt naked. Yeah, fun fact, they walk around butt naked. Even worse, they have the bed fun right out in the open, in public here. They also play water sports. Anyway, how many more minutes are in this video? Just asking. Like 10 more, 9 more, about 9 more. Suffer.
Enough attention. Yeah, actually even more of a reason to talk about men's mental health, because you know those gay guys at the pride events? Again, there's something mentally wrong if you leave the house in that and you think, yeah, this is fine. I feel no shame. I'm basically naked and I'm going to a pride parade that's labeled kid-friendly and I'm going to be crawling on the floor dressed as a dog. Gay or straight, it doesn't matter. There's something wrong with you. 600,000 men a year? Okay, not enough. Talking about sewer slide. So now we're just mocking human suffering. Like, again, coming from these so-called compassionate mental health advocates, but only for women and gay people, I guess. But again, gay men exist. That would be terrible to say, oh, only gay men matter. But still, I bet these people would not say this to their gay bestie, yet they post this. When a man brings up Men's Mental Health Month to ignore the fact that women still aren't treated equally.
It's St. Patrick's Day.
We really don't give a It's not a major holiday.
Yeah, we're not treated equally because conversations about our mental health are treated more seriously. Of course, there will be some men who are bitter and hate women with a passion. That exists as well. But when you look at the reaction from the majority, it is not this. It is not make noise for a moment of silence. It's not this triggered reaction when we're talking about women's mental health. If we're talking about depression among men, how does that erase concerns about women? Me to every man who's saying it's Men's Mental Health Month. You're gay! You're gay! It's so funny because I'm sure you call yourself
So, homophobia is good if I attack people with it that I don't like. This truly is dark woke. The dork woke.
Progressive. Yet you're using being gay as an insult. And also, what does sexuality have to do with whether men's mental health matters? A straight man can struggle, a gay man can struggle. Like, come on, guys. Let's just be adults for a second.
It's Men's Mental Health Month, and you know what that means. Now we can be scumbags and justify it. Got anxiety.
I mean, There are people that do this, that try to excuse their poor behavior by saying, oh, well, I have anxiety. But again, that's not what Men's Mental Health Month is about.
Y'all don't actually care about Men's Mental Health Month. Y'all only suddenly care about it when someone talks about Pride Month. But then be the same people that make fun of gay men for being gay. Y'all are the same people to tell other men, oh, that's gay. Oh, we can't hug. That's gay. Oh, quit being emotional. Just thug it out. And then ask, well, why don't people care about Men's Mental Health Month? You can have both Pride Month and Men's Mental Health Month.
I think he raises some fair points here, right? There are absolutely men who mock other men for showing emotion, who call everything gay, like as an insult, who make it harder for other men to open up. Andrew Tate, like we talked about, cough, cough. But I don't think that means Men's Mental Health Month is pointless. You know, if anything, again, it reinforces why these conversations need to happen.
80% of them are by men. We often blur the lines of Men's Mental Health Month as a way to say we have it worse off than women. We don't, but we've trained ourselves not to reach out. We've trained ourselves to thug it out. Men are terrified of facing their innermost feelings. They'd rather just ignore them and push them so far down and decide one day when they can't take it anymore, that'd be better just not exist at all, rather than to reach out and bother somebody, or to be perceived less than a man. The dilemma of not wanting to have feminine traits is often what leads to this epidemic in men. So I implore you, don't treat it.
The issue is with this, that it comes off as like, the idea that men and women, right, that we've trained ourselves, that's not, that may be in parts true, but not 100%. There is a reality that men, while can feel all the emotions that women can, to a lesser intense degree. For example, a good thing is being stressed. Women and men react very differently to being stressed. They act very differently, in fact, even on the same level. A woman that is stressed out, it will likely be more noticeable than if a man is stressed, right? You will not notice. Depression, we don't deal with that in the same, right? We don't feel that in the same way. It is a lot less obvious, right? From a biological perspective, it's a lot less obvious. That does not change the fact that both of these are, by the way, equally deadly. The reason, for example, part of the reason why men are dying earlier is because, for example, they don't take care of their stress levels. We can see this, for example, if we compare nuns and monks, right? They live about equally. They live about the same, right? Same length of life, right? That is not the case for the common man or the common woman. That is the problem is, we need to look at this more also from a biological perspective, which we're not doing because we're on this trip. Men and women are the same. No, we're not. We're not the same. We deal things with things differently, and that needs to be addressed. Which cycles back to the fact that we don't have actually enough data and enough literature and research, maybe because men and women want equal over 90% of our existence. We are not equal. That is there is no evidence to show that men and women are equal. There is none. That's a reality. We're not even equal between men. Not even equal between women. Woman A is not equal to woman B. That's a reality. Because they would need to be the same, which they're not. Right? We can even, for example, women with higher testosterone levels are more likely to go into male-dominated fields when it comes to jobs. That happens. We can look at this, for example, women who are more into mathematics usually have a bigger dose of testosterone when they were a kid. Right? You can even look at it, for example, testosterone makes you more likely to develop a learning disability or a learning disadvantage than girls. The majority of for example, people who are illiterate are men. people don't want to talk about that either. Men's mental health struggles often come out as anger, which then impacts others. So they're treated poorly instead of being helped. People look at what they did rather than why they did it exactly. We are not we are not equal. All men are equal. We're not. There is no evidence. Would you say I'm right? Would you say I'm equal to somebody as influential as Nikola Tesla? I am not. That is an objective reality. I am not. That is a reality, right? I'm not equal to Michael Jackson. Significantly more influence. I'm not equal to. There's many people that I'm not equal to. That we're not the same. We don't have the same worth to society. That is an objective reality. Not even in death we're the same, right? Some people will be remembered for hundreds and thousands of years, and the average person will not. That is a reality. We are not equal in any way, sense, or shape.
As a comparison, I have it worse off than you. Treat it as you need help and you're begging for someone to answer the call. So make the call.
Opinion on mailman.
There's also something to be said that a good portion of men reach out for help and it is dismissed. Yep. That's another thing. I don't know what the exact percentage was, but it was a decently large portion of men that actually do reach out for help, that do make the call or talk to somebody, and it is being dismissed. And then they stop.
Not my problem. No, but seriously. We need to fix it before it spreads. And before they make more podcasts.
What do we have to fix? Men's mental health? Or stop the spread of Men's Mental Health Month? Like, what are you talking about? Like, if someone said, oh, Women's Mental Health Month isn't my problem, stop it before it spreads, you know, preventing women from speaking about their experiences, I think everyone would be like, it's very insensitive. And you don't have to personally take responsibility for someone else's struggles. Like, we've said this so many times, but there's a difference between saying, it's not my job to fix this, and just straight up mocking mental health.
If you are homophobic, you don't give about men's mental health. I love that Pride Month and men's mental health awareness. That happens at the same time. I love it because there are so many homophobic men who are suddenly pretending like they care a lot about men's mental health.
It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, said by a man who bullies, degrades, and invalidates gay men. Yeah, that's hypocrisy, because you don't care about that man's mental health. You must have something going on to do something like that. So that's all true. If you're genuinely homophobic and you're bullying people, then yeah, you're contributing to mental health problems for other men. We're talking about, you know, addiction, anxiety, all these things. Most of those people are not sitting around plotting how to make life miserable for gay men. It's Pride Month and here go a straight man throwing a pity party with the classic, it's Men's Mental Health Month too, you know.
Oh my God. Shut up. Like,
instead of complaining about straight men and Men's Mental Health Month, how about you start looking into your literacy rates? Because as far as I'm aware, you're doing worse and worse in school. If you've seen the crash out of that black teacher, right, crying that the brown and black girls cannot write or read, which arguably that starts much earlier. That doesn't start in school. That actually arguably starts at home because they can't even speak proper English, right? They speak brain rot, as we've seen in the last video, which is very interesting. The most controversial conversation on the internet. Your language is brain rot. Anyway, moving on.
okay, they get it. Like,
oh, nobody cares about men's mental health. Men don't care about men's mental health. I would argue women care more about men's mental health because we want y'all to be okay, so you stop doing fucked up shit to us.
Yeah, that's part of it. More of a reason to raise awareness. I don't get it. But also,
that woman with the mug has a husband. She regularly degrades in her content, by the way. That is crazy. And he probably sits in the chair. Poor little guy.
Many men care because many men are affected. We should care about men's mental health because men are human beings, not because of what they can do for women. Their well-being has value in and of itself. It's a human life. Both men and women are humans.
You a man. Men don't cry. I can't believe you being so vulnerable. Stop acting like a bitch. Remember that you matter. It's okay to cry. It's It's okay to let go. It's okay to express your feelings. It's okay to be vulnerable because you're a human. You're a man, but you're also a human. I love you.
Septum piercing, so this is going to be a great take.
Yeah, but don't forget it's mental health, it's Men Mental Health Month, right? No, it's Men Mental Health Month. What do you mean? It's Men Mental Health Month. I'm man, I deserve attention. I'm man.
It's an incredible argument. She really got me there. Septum piercing? Yes. Okay. So it's going to be good.
Men's Mental Health Month is a really stupid concept designed solely to silence women and queer people because there is no Women's Mental Health Month. Not officially, at least. Not to this large of a scale.
Why would there be? A lot of clinical research is based on women. Why would there be? That it doesn't make sense from the perspective even of the literature and material that we have. It wouldn't make sense. Right? Anyway.
There is no Women's Mental Health Month, but there is a mental health month that is including both of them. But men did not like the idea that Pride...
That one is operated by women.
...was overshadowing them, so they exploded this idea so much that it was almost like it was fighting with Pride Month. And men will bring up constantly how they're more likely to die by suicide than women, but it takes 2 seconds of research to know that women are also more likely to attempt suicide than men. Men just tend to go with more successful and traumatic, violent ways, but women are going to use less messy, less traumatic things that are less successful.
So first of all, we do have Mental Health Awareness Month and Women's Health Month every May. We also have National Women's Health Week and countless organizations that specifically focus on women's mental health. Now, even if women attempt more often, while men...
You know, it's interesting because like they always want to go like which is also interesting, right? They also always want to bring up how there's more research and money invested into like researching balding in men, right? Then what was it? The pain, some strong pain some women have in that private area, right? I forgot what the medical term is. I forgot it. I'm sorry. Which is, by the way, a lie. But they love to bring that one up as well. It's very interesting. Anyway, she identifies as toothless. You can't insult how to train your dragon like that. How could you?
Men die more often. I'm not sure what point that's supposed to prove because both statistics are tragic. So this idea that Men's Mental Health Month exists to silence women and gay people, or sorry, queer people, that doesn't make sense either.
Endometriosis, exactly, that's the one. So I did know it. I just didn't know if it was that. Okay. Yeah, that one. Yep. There is more, right? They always want to compare these, but that's actually not true. There goes significantly more funds into that than male balding.
Because we can discuss multiple issues at the same time, it is not a competition.
By the time you are done watching this video, another man somewhere in the world will have decided that leaving this world is better than staying in it. In the United States, that's one man every 13 to 14 minutes. That's 100 to 110 men every day who make up about 40,000 men annually. Brother to brother, I love you, and I am proud of you, and whatever you are feeling...
Pause. It's only okay to say that when you add no homo behind it. He didn't say it. It's over. Anyway, just a joke. Yep, true. It's a lot of men. It's a lot of men. It's a lot of men.
It is okay to feel that. And even more so, it is okay to talk about it. I am begging you to stay here.
I think one of the saddest things about this entire conversation is that so many people seem genuinely incapable of extending compassion to people outside of their own group. Men's Mental Health Month is not a threat to Women's Mental Health Month and vice versa, and same thing with Pride Month and Men's Mental Health Month. These things do not have to compete with one another unless we decide that we have to make them compete. So despite what social media, you know, might be telling you. Both matter, and your value is not determined by things like income or relationship status or your career or your looks or whether you appear strong every second of every day. I know that's probably what so many men have heard, that you cannot show emotions, men don't cry, that kind of thing. It's just not the case. If you're dealing with grief, if you're feeling lost, that does not make you weak, okay? It makes you a human, and we all feel low sometimes. You do not have to suffer in silence, okay, to prove anything. Please talk to someone you trust. You can reach out to a therapist if you have access to that, or you can even try.
You don't even get a slot. Not here, at least. A friend is probably, a family member is probably a better option than a therapist, because you probably, there's a chance that it's more likely that your life is gonna be over before you actually get a therapist. You should probably look at your country and then decide that.
Virtual therapy. There are some affordable options nowadays, and therapy with a good therapist can be life-changing. Take care of your physical health also. Build a life that exists beyond social media. That is so important. It won't happen overnight, but step by step.
No, we will stay permanently online until morale improves.
You will feel better. It is so important to have a vision of a life that excites you, having something to look forward to, a reason to get up every morning. Whether you're a man or a woman, I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're taking care of yourself, and let me know your thoughts about.
Yeah, but this is a peak video, by the way. The trans black Q&A. Anyway, she cooked with this one. And the people are angry about it, which is even more fun. I tried to delete a month ago. I can't imagine not wanting to help stop someone else feeling like that just because the person is a man. Indeed, and I'm sorry. I hope you're better now. I hope you're way better now. That's important, right? Hopefully you're in a good spot. The people who offer go to therapy, check its prices. It is expensive, and also, like, is there the capacity? And in a free healthcare system, there is no capacity for this, right? You're probably not. I'm assuming probably it's the same in the UK. I'm assuming probably it's the same in many other European countries where, like, there's no capacity for patients. That's what I'm honestly assuming, right? To be fair. Anyway, yeah, it's true. Take care of your homies, and take care of yourself. That's very important, right? Do actually go and work out. Hit the gym, go for walks, do something physical. Physical activity can greatly improve it. Anyway, you don't need to say no homo if you have a beard. I love you, Judah. Anyway. Uh-oh. Sure, Somax. Trying to get therapy here is so slow. I'm probably assuming you probably die before you get therapy here. There either, I'm assuming. The British. Yeah, these lovely free healthcare. This lovely free healthcare that's actually not free and probably worse. Anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of ARC videos here and there. Guys, I'm gonna tickly. Fried. Anyway. Quickly take a break. And then we're gonna watch one of Landon's videos. Then we can do the chibi clips or the women's suffrage. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, I'll be right back. Don't explode the chat. Hello, mortals. Anyway. Alright, so far, so good. The goodest, in fact. Anyway. The sun is gone for the day, by the way. So I'm not actually getting grilled. The girl master's actually not showing up. Now, that doesn't really change much, but, yeah. But apparently it's going to get 30 degrees again. The heat is killing me. Anyway, that was a nice and long one. Alright, you know what? Let's watch the silliest deaths instead. Yeah, let's watch the silliest deaths. I think that's more fun. Right, something chill and easy, right? Duck. Salmax. I need to move my chat again. Gluten. Why would you even say that? What's the, why? Why would you speak proper German? My swim pool is finished. I was swimming here. Hey, not bad. Hopefully it was fun. Hopefully you did have fun. Right, that's important. Anyway, we'll continue with this one. Imagine how pissed we'll be if you say trans slop. Make him angry. Show him, Lumpy. You show him I can't. Skill issue. Clearly a skill issue. Very clearly what you have one. Which is unfortunate, right? But I'll teach you more, that's fine. I will teach you more German. Anyway. The silliest deaths in history. By chat history. We're gonna look at this. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect here. Let's see how these people perished, right? As long as it is by the breath of your own wyvern, I think we're good. I love getting myself killed by my own wyverns in Ark. Moving on.
The silliest deaths in history. Sometimes it's your own pride that can get the best of you. This is Hans Steininger, and this is his beard. Hey,
No, that can't be. Right, you're going. This just gotta be this has to be a joke, right? He didn't get himself obliterated by his beard, right? Like because of his beard, right? That can't be. Is this what this is going to go? Sprich ordentliches Deutsch. Exactly. See? Good. I hope it mentions the English king stabbed of the ass while on the toilet. That's outrageous, bro.
Eyes are up here. Looking like the wisest wizard in the world, Hans was a public spectacle in the 16th century and also a well-respected politician. Cause, I mean, come on, who are you gonna vote for? Majestic and marvelous beard boy Hans, or the lame and lackluster clean-shaven Franz? Und that is how I will be lowering taxes while simultaneously providing affordable healthcare and housing for all. Alright, but where's your beard? I don't have one. But behind that big bushel of bristles beats a kind heart, one that legitimately cares.
Yeah, too bad I cannot compete with that man's beard either. So yeah, rather unfortunate, dare I say. But yeah, I can't compete with that one either. It's very, very sad, right? Very, very sad.
For his town and its people. So much so that Hans was elected as mayor for 6 consecutive terms for the town of Braunau am Inn, a town that resides on the border between modern-day Austria and Germany. It's also the birthplace of another famous facial hair haver, albeit far less loved by history, but that's another story. Measuring in at over 4.5 feet in length, Hans's big-ass beard was his defining feature, and was certainly a testament to his patience and care in many aspects in his life. If you can brush your beard, you can untangle legislative issues. If you can oil up your whiskers, you can lubricate the political machine. So it goes without saying that cosmetology and political science are of equal value. At least from a college degree standpoint. However, Hans's biggest asset would be his downfall, quite literally. On September 28th, 1567, It
can't be that bad, right? It can't be that bad, okay? It can't be. Right? It can't be, right? It can't be that bad, alright? I hope so, at least. It can't be that bad.
fire broke out in the town, which was a much bigger threat back then than it is today. Since the extent of firefighting tactics were just pathetic pails of water, a single small fire could reduce your whole town to cinders real quick. Hans, who usually tucked his beloved beard into a leather pouch for safekeeping and uninhibited travel, let his lusciously long locks whimsically whip in the wind as he ran to help with the fire. Scuttling down some stairs in a panic, Hans had accidentally slammed a piggy right on—
No! No! This can't be! There was a person who died when his Tower of Dujins fell on him and buried him under. That is outrageous, bro. No, this can't be. Well, honestly, this has happened to me similarly, just not down the stairs with shoelaces. Yeah, I was a kid who learned really late how to tie shoelaces. Yep.
his own facial pubes, causing him to slip and trip down the entire staircase. He snaps his neck, and the town was devastated. Not by the fire, but—
Bro perished. He feared the beard. Bro perished like this? That's outrageous.
By the loss of their beloved mayor. Before being buried, the townsfolk had Hans's beard gently removed and chemically preserved, immortalizing his legacy. The forever facial hair is still on display in a museum in the town today.
They turned his beard into... They turned his beard put him into a museum as like some kind of relic of old times. That's how you get immortalized. I guess that's a nice way to get immortalized, I suppose. Okay, interesting. Very interesting.
You know his ghost is pissed, though. Ever have an extreme case of the sleepy ha-has where you find anything and everything to be complete comedic gold to the point of not being able to even breathe? Now try to imagine this soggy scoop of Cheerios doing that. This is Chrysippus, a rather influential Greek Stoic philosopher in the 3rd century BC. In case you don't peruse that corner of YouTube, Stoicism is the philosophy that you only ever need to focus on what you can control in your life. Anything reasonably outside of that control, Hakunas Matatis, not my problems. Which is a...
I suppose. Well, is that... I guess, not really. I understood it differently. Since it would never make such a mistake. A beard most feared.
Pretty solid philosophy, especially in this age of doom and gloom social media designed to make you perpetually paranoid and pissed off. Chrysippus was also a huge proponent of logical reasoning, having created an original system of propositional logic, stuff like if, then, and or statements that we use to describe the world around us today. For example, if you are not subscribed to this channel, then you're dead to me. Simple logic. The basic...
That's rather unfortunate. Well, if I'm dead, I'm not gonna watch. I'm gonna stop watching.
The idea is that any and all things happen for a reason. Well, I'm sure Chrysippus would have a hard time understanding the logic and reasoning surrounding his rather untimely death. According to legend, Chrysippus, at the fermented old age of 73, got trashed at a feast. In his slizzard state, he had stumbled upon a donkey who was munching on some figs. Registering at least a 6.9 on the ancient Greek comedy scale, the masticating mule was a hilarious sight to behold, prompting Chrysippus to exclaim, quote, "Now give the donkey some pure wine to wash down the figs." This added punchline sent the Lord of Logic over the edge. Chrysippus reportedly hurled himself into a fit of laughter so intense that he had collapsed, foaming at the mouth. Despite some nearby partygoers attempting to help him, he had knocked himself dead with his own joke. But the question is, can you actually die from
how? No, how?
Laughter? Sure you can. It's rare, but medically possible. If you laugh your
rupture brain aneurysm, asthma attack, gelastic seizure. What the fuck? No, I'm never laughing again, bro. I'm never laughing again in my life. No laughing ever. I'd rather not. I feel like I'd rather not. Yeah. Laughing? Ain't doing that anymore. Nope. I'm good. Will never. I will never.
Ass off to the point of it being an uncontrollable fit, that actually puts a lot of stress on your heart. So if you have a weak heart, you're probably going to exacerbate some underlying conditions, leading to a heart attack. You also have the possibility of losing consciousness if you laugh yourself out of breath for long enough. but you have to hear or see something exceptionally funny for that to happen, so don't worry, you're safe here. Now, of course, this recount of events is debated by historians. The guy who documented this particular death was ancient Greek biographer Diogenes Laertius, who lived a few hundred years after Chrysippus' death, so he was far from an eyewitness. Diogenes nuts! On top of that, he also wrote an alternative, more mundane account of the comical death, simply writing that Chrysippus died of alcohol poisoning after drinking too much undiluted wine, but I guess he needed to spice some things up.
I mean, isn't that... See, would this have happened if he wasn't drunk, right? Would this have happened if he wasn't drunk? That's the important question we need to ask. And my theory is probably not.
For his readers. If there was ever proof that the universe has a cruel sense of humor, then it's the curious case of American lawyer and politician Clement Vallandigham. Howdy. Though he resided in the Union state of Ohio during the mid-1800s, Clement was adamantly against the Civil
Ohio or Nichan?
War, calling it, quote, a wicked, cruel, and unnecessary war, which is fine, but being a member of the Copperhead faction of the anti-war Democrats, Clement was a very vocal Confederate sympathizer, speaking out against President Lincoln and the abolition of slavery, to which Lincoln was all and sent him to the South to live amongst his Confederate companions in 1863. Clement, who was clearly not about that life, snuck aboard a ship and shipped himself off to Canada before sneaking back to his home state of Ohio.
Why would you go to Canada? Out of all places. Why? So the joke with toxin wasn't just hogwash? Nope, apparently it works.
To perform rather inconsequential political mumbo-jumbo for the next few years. But after the war was over, Clement attempted to run on political platforms while still advocating for slavery. However, he suddenly switched his views with the Democratic New Departure policy of 1865, which basically 180'd the Democratic Party's stance on slavery once they realized that it fell out of favor in the public's eye. So, being branded as a no-good slavery supporter for life meant the figurative death of his political career. Instead, he turned to a career in law, which would soon lead to his literal death. On June 17, 1871, Vallandigham met his demise while defending his client, Thomas McGeehan, a young fella accused of shooting and killing one Tommy Myers. Clement claimed that Myers had, in fact, not been murdered, but accidentally shot himself with his own gun while getting up to stand.
That's, would you rather be a Florida man or an Alabama man? I'm choosing Florida every single day. Every single day of my life, I'm choosing to be a Florida man. Yeah, like, nah, I think I'm good in this case. I would probably think I'm good. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't.
Clement vowed that he could demonstrate this before the court, proving McGeehan's innocence. And so he did. Now, when reenacting a scene that results in someone accidentally blowing a hole through their own tummy, you want to make sure that you have safety measures in place that would physically prevent you from doing the same thing. Clement didn't do that. Instead, he had mistakenly used a loaded pistol. While demonstrating the scene as Myers, Clement attempted to draw the seemingly harmless firearm from his coat pocket as he stood up. And he blew a hole through his own tummy, just like Myers. Clement Vallandigham died just 12 hours later from his injuries. The verdict? Not guilty. McGeehan was acquitted and was a free man. Until he was murdered a few years later, that is. You can tempt death all you like, but eventually, he's gonna get what's his. That's what big ol'
being Florida man, there's a non-zero chance something animal will happen. Nah, unreasonable. You want to know why? I'm not a white woman.
Bobby Leach found out in 1926. Born in itty-bitty Britain, England in 1858, Leach grew up to be quite the daredevil. Unfortunately, most of Bobby's early life is lost to time, completely shrouded in mystery. We do know that around the 1880s, he had left boring old England for a more exhilarating life in the States. Apparently an excellent swimmer, Leach eventually landed a gig as a professional high diver with the greatest show on earth, the Barnum and Bailey Circus. There, he performed daringly dangerous feats in front of thousands of eager onlookers. This had quenched the adrenaline-thirsty void in his life for a while, but eventually he retired from this circus life at the age of 50 in order to extend his life expectancy a bit. But that logic was tossed aside rather quickly, as in the early 1900s, Bobby decided to settle down as a humble businessman at Niagara Falls. Blimey, that's a proper waterfall, isn't it? Initially content with just opening up a restaurant, Leach noticed the ever-increasing tourists flocking from afar to see a bunch of water spill over a cliff. So, this gave him an idea.
Well, that guy's life is over. Like the Florida man who went to do it with... Well, too bad I'm allergic against frogs. Yep. I'm allergic against frogs. Boy, for you mean itty bitty England. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun?
The Daredevil was back. Between 1906 and 1911, Leach performed various stunts around the falls, including parachuting from the nearby Honeymoon Bridge to the river below. Over the years, Leach continued to push the envelope, coming up with more and more dangerous stunts to draw larger and larger crowds. Eventually, he faced his biggest challenge, the falls themselves. And on July 25th, 1911, entombed in a customized giant metal barrel, Leach took the plunge. And survived. Sure, he had gashed his forehead, broken his jaw, and all of his kneecaps, but he was still kicking. Bobby Leach became...
It was, you know, guys, it was for science. That's why he did it. For science. You would never understand, but sometimes you have to do it for science, and he did.
The second person to survive the trip, right behind 63-year-old Annie Taylor. After recovering in the hospital for several months, Leach became a celebrity. Over the next several years, he had plans to make a second bound over the falls, but it never came to be. Why? Well, because in 1926, he went and slipped on a dang orange peel, snapping his leg in half, which went and got infected with gangrene, ultimately killing him a few days later. Remember that?
So, let me get this straight, okay? Let me get this straight. This man died not from his weird science experiment, but from that. That is very sad.
That death always gets the last laugh. Having served the shortest presidential term in United States history, you know something must have gone down. Well, it was President William Henry Harrison's health bar. The withering president had a pretty impressive career before assuming office. He enlisted in the US Army in 1791 at the age of 18 and quickly rose through the ranks, serving in the American Indian Wars, which sought to expand US territory further west against native tribes, which they did. Satisfied with his service, Harrison decided to retire from the military at 25 and toss his hat in the ring for a career in politics. Recognized for his leadership skills on the battlefield, then President Guy John Adams gave Harrison control over the territory of Indiana as governor, with the goal of expanding that territory for statehood eligibility. One consequence of this territorial expansion was the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811, which only further displaced natives from the area in order to allow more settlers to, well, settle. This
Fun fact, did you know tons of Native Americans were involved in taking down the original inhabitants of Mexico? Right? The more you know. The more you know. Anyway, I have a dog. I have a girl. Edward. No, why? There was no reason to pull this one, by the way. There was no reason. How could you? Why would you say something so cruel? Like the scientist that ate dangerous bacteria to prove that it could survive in the stomach because no one believed it. For science!
Cemented Harrison's legacy as Indiana would eventually become its own state in 1816. But leading military campaigns from afar, that's boring as shit. Harrison missed being in the middle of the action, so he came out from his military retirement to fight in the War of 1812, serving as a major general for the US Army against the smelly redcoats, who weren't too happy seeing the US's throbbing expansion. A bunch of people died, and the war ended in pretty much a stalemate, but the outcome solidified the US as a world power, being able to at least defend itself from a foreign power. This really boosted national morale and pride, and with no restrictions put in place, the US just kept on manifesting that destiny in the coming years. Now back in a time of peace and having successfully satisfied his war boner, Harrison fell back into politics, serving in the House of Representatives, the Senate, and eventually running for president. His opponent was 8th President Martin Van Buren, whose first term experienced an economic depression with the Panic of 1837. Of course, Van Buren was given the blame for the economic downturn, even though it began over a month before he was even in office. The economy stagnated, unemployment rose, and the people were properly pissed. So it's no surprise that when seeking re-election, it was now Harrison who would be the favorite to win. Aww. Harrison won in a landslide, 234 electoral votes to Van Buren's 60, but that wouldn't matter in about a month. Elected in 1841 at the age of 68, Harrison was getting on in his years. Either a stubborn old goat or a complete idiot, he had the habit of being extremely underprepared for the weather. For example, he delivered his inaugural...
Don't tell me he died because of the cold. Don't. Because he was underprepared for putting on a damn winter coat. Don't tell me that is the case. That'd be so sad.
Speech in the bitter cold and rain for 2 hours straight, with no overcoat or weather-appropriate clothes. Connected with the subject is the...
He dies from a cold. He dies from a cold because he's retarded. Well, correction, he was. He dies from a cold. That man perishes because of a cold.
Character of the currency. The idea of making it exclusively metallic, however well intended, appears to me to be fraught with... Oh, this is gonna suck. Harrison continued to endure exposure to the elements over the next few weeks, eventually contracting a deadly case of pneumonia. Despite his doctors jacking him to the tits with drugs and relying on good old-fashioned bloodletting, Harrison died on April 4th, 1841, exactly 1 month after being elected.
Did you consider the sewer slide? Oh, Franz Reichelt. A German? An Austrian? A Swiss?
When you were a kid, did you ever try jumping off of a sofa using a blanket as a makeshift parachute, but you failed to calculate if the blanket had the proper coefficient of drag necessary to minimize your acceleration due to gravity, leaving you crashing to the floor in a possible concussion? Just me? Well, take that scenario and scale it up to adult size, except this is your blanket, and this is your couch. Meet Franz Reichelt, the mastermind behind the parachute suit prototype. An Austro-Hungarian tailor and inventor, Franz became hyper-fixated on developing a sort of wearable parachute.
Never mind, Hungarian. The same. Anyway. Wait a minute. No. Essentially just jumped to his death. Miscalculated and ended it.
Parachute. He had identified a gap in the market with the rise of humanity's newest invention, the powered aircraft. Seeing reports of pilots forced to launch themselves out of their airborne contraptions if things went south, Franz vowed to come up with a solution to save lives. So he got to work in 1910 with some initial designs, testing the prototypes by strapping them onto makeshift dummies.
Interesting. He invented the idea of a parachute, but couldn't save his own life with one. How tragic.
And hucking them off of a 5-story ledge. Surprisingly, the dummies managed to hit the ground at less than fatal speeds. Not bad. But there was a problem. The prototype weighed 150 pounds. And no pilot's gonna lug all that extra weight onto an aircraft, even if it would potentially save their life. But Franz would not give up. After all, you have to fail many times before you succeed. But it did help that there was also some monetary encouragement. Turns out that France's Aeronautic Club held a parachute-esque design competition which offered a cash prize to the tune of 10,000 francs. Considering that the average wage of an unskilled French laborer at the time was only a few francs a day, that prize was nothing to sneeze at. Over the next year, Reichelt was unable to replicate his initial success with any of the lighter redesigns. But to his logic, it wasn't a design problem, It was a height problem. Anyone who has even taken a basic physics course knows that this is a bad idea. You fall exponentially faster the longer you're airborne thanks to acceleration due to gravity. But what's a bunch of stupid science shit gonna do to stop an avid inventor from fulfilling his dream and lining his pockets? Nothing. But the pavement will. But Franz, determined to test his designs from a higher height, pleaded with the Parisian prefecture of police to allow him to run an experiment from the Eiffel Tower. Despite numerous rejections.
Oh no. Oh no. He's gonna experience the consequences of his own actions. Oh no. Oh no. Poor guy.
They eventually gave in. On the bitter cold morning of February 4th, 1912, and to the surprise of everyone, Franz arrived on site in his dumpy-looking parachute suit. Now, the police only gave Franz permission to perform this stunt on the grounds that dummies would be used, not that he would be doing the jumping himself. This guy was so confident in his invention, boasting to news journalists of how successful it was gonna be. But apparently the police didn't feel like stopping him, so after a bunch of preparations, Reichelt made the leap, but his parachute suit failed to properly deploy, so the poor fella plummeted 187 feet to his death, achieving nothing.
Oh, and they even gave him the Yamcha pose. How cruel. Bro got a dose of he got a she on though. Doesn't matter. He received a, how do you call this? A proper dose of gravity. I think that's what you would call it.
Nothing but a Franz-shaped dent in the cement. And so ends another silly video. I'm gonna be making a part 2 to this sometime soon, so
well, that's the end of the video. So one died because he refused to wear a coat. One died because he underestimated gravity. The other one died because he essentially tripped, and 2 of them died because they essentially tripped. Fan-fucking-tastic. Yep, I hope I never end up like these people. That would be very, very bad. I hope this does never happen to me. Thank you very much. Anyway, that was something. That was certainly something. Absolutely. Anyway, let's do the... You know what? Let's do the women's suffrage. That's gonna be interesting for sure. Then we'll do the chibi clip video. Because I like, pain in the ears. That will be nice. Right, so there's that. So let's look at this. An honest review of women's suffrage by Basic Logic. Wait a minute, this channel sounds familiar. This channel sounds very familiar. I may have come across this guy on TikTok actually. Yes, I scroll on TikTok. Yes, I like to consume brain rot. Though mostly it's just to get edits. You don't know what it's like to listen to edits while you work out. Anyway, we're gonna look at this. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Let's see the honest review.
Women are capable of many things, but voting well doesn't seem to be one of them. In their defense, men don't.
We're starting like that, huh? We're starting like that. Women can do many things. Voting isn't one of them. Well, that's how we start. The women have suffered enough. Indeed, bro. That's crazy when you can't. When can you do the he put in a thumb in it, a thumb in it video? I'll see eventually.
Vote that well either, but are still considerably better on average. In this video, we go over the political gender gap, the causes behind it, and some ancient wisdom to give an honest review of women's suffrage. And if you enjoyed, consider subscribing, it helps the channel. First, let's get some basic things out of the way. Contrary to propaganda, we do not live in a patriarchy. Collectively, women have more power in the West than men do. We live in democracies where everyone can vote, and women both outnumber men and have a higher voter turnout. If women voted as one united bloc, they'd win every election. Second,
Interesting. Is that so? Huh. Yeah, true. True. I guess he isn't wrong. He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong.
women control education through sheer numbers. and as anyone of my generation can attest, will often force their politics down children's throats. Thirdly, women control the professional environment through HR, again through numbers, to the point where we've even had cases of HR ladies on social media openly saying that if you post right-wing content, they won't hire you and they will ruin your reputation.
Down to the point. Bro is not stopping. That much is clear. But yeah, true. See, every time I hear somebody talk about issues with a coworker, somehow always a woman is involved. It's never between two dudes. It's always between a man and a woman. So there's that at least.
With other companies. And lastly, the consistent pro-woman bias in family courts have given them asymmetric leverage in marriages. The only power men still have in our societies are reactive. They have the power to use force, for obvious reasons, which they simply don't nowadays, and they have productivity, because despite of all the efforts we went through to get women into the workforce, they have not occupied the essential jobs that keep society running. And I doubt the endless Zoom meetings would be missed. So men could theoretically go on strike, refuse to maintain essential services, and force change. But as long as the status
he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's technically not wrong, right? Large parts of the infrastructure are run by men.
This quo remains, women collectively are in charge. So what have they done with all this power? The Greek playwright Aristophanes, referred to as the father of comedy, wrote a play 2,400 years ago where he predicted the outcomes of what would happen if women took control of politics, called the Assembly of Women. His predictions included massive welfare expansion and equity focus, enabling free riding and draining the treasury, hostility to private property and private relationships, erosion of the family unit with the state as a substitute provider, weakened commitment, chaotic dating markets, and ironic—
Bro, that's crazy. Okay, bro, that's great. Okay. Translop. Yeah, you need to censor. See, you need to act like women and start censoring like words like man and even woman to a degree. Sometimes they censor that as well. You still lack the skill for this.
fiercer female competition, as well as the punishing of masculine traits leading to more effeminate men. Aristophanes was eerily prescient, with modern voting data showing women, on average, strongly backing the patterns he warned about. An 8 to 15 point swing over men in favor of increasing welfare beyond its already extensive size, a 20 point swing in favor over men in support of increased gun control, and as much as a 15 point swing over men in favor of mass immigration. And
Ooh, well, that's actually, not really that surprising, right? To be fair, right? We have proof of that this is something that keeps happening, right? That's nothing surprising. If you've seen the recent incident of an immigrant exposing himself in front of a child and a white woman coming in defense of him, like coming to aid him, right? Like that poor immigrant, right? We have that already. That is nothing new. Guys, my headphones are running out. I need to check where my thingy is, because otherwise I have a problem. I'll be right back. I need to quick break. I need to find that real quick. Never mind, found it. Apparently my cat started playing with it, which is not particularly fun. It was somewhere on the floor and I couldn't find it. A classic at this point, right? A classic. Anyway, back to it.
Perhaps something not even Aristophanes would have predicted, 56% in favor of killing their own unborn kids for any reason.
Yep, that is also true. But it's not a child, it's not a human. It's a clump of cells. Well, bitch, you're a clump of cells, so there's that. By the way, I've noticed none of the arguments are actually in favor, right? None of the arguments actually work that they bring, which is logical, right? Makes sense. And you can counter most of them. Bro has come back with the milk. Nah, with the headphones. So when I took the break, my cat probably played with it, knocked it down, and then I couldn't find it. But it's fine now. It's fine.
A 15-point gap compared to men. Looking at the downstream social effects, declining families, rising spending, polarization, assembly of women feels less like satire and more like a warning. There are two clear patterns here. Firstly, many women are clearly voting to use the state as a substitute husband. Instead of men protecting and providing for their families, the state does it. But the irony is, the state can only provide for them by taking resources from men. After all, the state itself does not produce anything. In essence, this is a form of forced disenfranchisement.
When it gets even funnier when you realize the person massively pushing, right, for abortions, right, was actually a racist. It gets even funnier, right? They want to defend. They're always like, oh, racism bad and terrible. Yeah, right. But the system that was put up for abortion is actually based on a woman that was racist, that wanted to essentially eradicate black people. Nobody tells them that. And when they found out, they usually have no way to counter it.
Against men. Men's naturally advantaged ability to protect and provide was once leverage for them in the dating market. Leverage they could use to get a higher quality spouse. But by these being forcefully taken from them and given for free to women, men's value and agency have been vastly reduced. One of the only things nowadays that men get to keep entirely for themselves is their own physical attractiveness. Historically, physical attractiveness is a trait women would use for more leverage in the dating market. But since that's all that men have left for themselves, it explains the recent trend of men becoming so obsessed with their appearance, and as a result becoming more effeminate.
The mouse utopia. Ever heard of it? Again, it is weird how many similarities there are to us and the mouse utopia. Or did someone just scream around? Yes. Yes. Someone screamed. I don't know who it was, but someone screamed. And I heard a dog running upstairs, so there's that. Do you know the guy behind gender identity? Didn't he essentially turn a boy without knowing, right? I think it was two twins. I think they fucked up one of the twins' body parts down there, right? And then raised him as a girl. They both ended it, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, that was the guy.
People blame dating apps and social media for the extreme focus on male appearance, but the fact that so many other aspects of masculinity have been forcefully substituted by the state seems like the greater cause. Since men are now less incentivized to acquire the necessary masculine skills to protect and provide, they'll do so less, and focus instead on more rewarding feminine traits, and as such the state will have less and less masculinity to draw on, ultimately leading...
Shocker. Shocker. Well, yeah, that's why, you know... I feel like at the end of the day, there's a reason why we desperately tried to get women into the workforce, and I still believe at the end of the day that is still mostly taxes. Right? I do think the twins were also forced to do adult acts on each other. Never mind! So... Well, that's rather, how do you say it? Questionable. That is questionable. Very questionable.
To less provision and protection for society over time. as we're already seeing. There's some nuance though, because while women generally have been treating the state as a substitute husband, there are certain groups of women who will absolutely not vote this way, and in fact despise this behavior. That is, women who themselves have long-lasting successful relationships with men. This is intuitive. The less successful a woman is in establishing a strong private relationship with a man, the more likely she is to try to use the state to redistribute masculinity towards her. Meanwhile, if a woman is successful in that pursuit, the less likely she is to want to share her man.
Shocker. Absolute shock. I'm shocked. One might argue I am shocked. Crazy. Yeah, I'm not surprised in this case. I'm not surprised in this case at all, really. Are we? It's the perverts all the way. Likely.
This is effectively the libertarian versus welfare debate, except proxied through relationships. As such, societies that encourage promiscuity, polygamy, and non-commitment are effectively a form of socialism for undesirable women. As many—
Did bro just call it socialism for undesirable women? It all comes down back to what I said. Feminism is essentially just communism. Perfection. We have attained perfection, it seems. That's crazy.
women continue to drift apart and fail to establish long-standing relationships, the more appealing this form of socialism becomes for them. This again mirrors Aristophanes' prediction, where in the play the assemblywomen forced men's attention to be shared with less desirable women. The second pattern of female voting is supporting whatever the current thing is. I gave you the stats about modern-day voting issues, where you see women giving significantly more support to liberal mainstream ideology that we've all been taught in school. But if we rewind the clock some decades back to when mainstream institutions were conservative, you'd see women being more conservative than men. Why? Because it was the current thing. Women are, on average, more agreeable than men. A consequence of agreeableness is the fear of going against the perceived consensus. As such, women operate less as independent voters, but rather as parrots of institutions. If the dominant institutions are conservative, women will broadly be conservative. If they're liberal, women will broadly be liberal. Naturally, parroting the dominant opinion is not helpful in politics, and actually reinforces political entrenchment.
You can see that IRL as well, right? Men are more likely to have friends that don't make friends with people that don't agree with them, right? That is something that men are more likely to do. And when it comes to women, slight differences in opinion can already exclude someone, right? We can tell this between like friend groups, right? That's why there's this meme of like men having like completely mixed like friend groups, and like all women in that friend group are just white. We have that right as well. There's a reason why that meme exists. Of course, this does not go for every single woman, right? There's women that have independent thought. There's plenty of women that have independent thought. It's just that liberal women don't have any independent thought.
Facilitating corruption, lack of scrutiny, and dogmatism. A deeper issue of suffrage is its effect on the family unit. In healthy societies with strong families, husbands and wives are aligned. They'll vote the same, making the extra votes redundant. However, now you have the political incentive to appeal not to families, but to individuals. And if your platform is generally more appealing to women, especially single women, but not to men, you are now incentivized to push policies that sabotage or delay family formation, or to get wives to vote against their husbands, which causes marital rift and has happened in recent campaigns. After all, as we've established,
the dogmatism. Indeed. They got that dog in their tism.
Generally, women in successful marriages will not vote for the state as a substitute husband, thus diminishing your power. This means that at best, women's suffrage is largely redundant, and at worst, it politically incentivizes the subversion of the family, and therefore, the future of your nation.
Interesting. I guess he isn't wrong.
Additionally, this is a weakness that's unique to women's suffrage, as while you can somewhat use the state as a substitute husband through the roles of protector and provider, the state is incapable of providing men with what they'd want from a wife. The market, on the other hand, fully exploits single men. But that's a topic for another day. So here's my honest review of women's suffrage.
I mean, true, right? Corn. Arguably the red pill, right? There's courses, you know, that stuff, right? Technically, a lot of male hobbies, right? Technically as well. Yeah, anyway.
We're now in a situation where family formation is at an all-time low, reckless government spending at an all-time high, men and women are lonelier and more depressed than ever, dominant political institutions are more entrenched than ever, and every single policy that led to these outcomes are consistently upheld by the female vote, in a way so predictable the ancient Greeks were laughing at us over 2,000 years ago. 0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Bro really said women's suffrage? 0 out of 10. Wouldn't recommend. Bro pulled the too much water by IGN. That's crazy. Well, that's interesting. I mean, we'd have to look at more data and look at that, right? I hope that if he had the source, has the source, he hopefully put them in the description. God damn it, right? But cyber communism is dumb. It is. The hours played is the length that women's suffrage has been around. Well, but we've been. It's been around. Yeah. Wait, actually, 928,000 hours. That's a lot of hours, bro. That's a lot of hours. Well, anyway, yeah, 0 out of 10, it seems. The thing is, like, right? There's no turning back. It is what it is, right? There's no turning back, right? And the only solution is technically, right, to wait a few generations and have the quote unquote current thing switch up, which usually doesn't happen. See, propaganda takes multiple generations to weed out. There's a reason we still have communists, like diehard young communists out there, right? There's a reason for that. It's because removing and clearing people's minds from propaganda takes generations. And we're still not at that point. If anything, it seems like the reverse is actually going on. It's going to get worse. Anyway, I guess I agree with this rating. 0 out of 10. Can we do the Brendan Herrera video next? Nope, we can't. I will do the Chibi video next. Also, if you keep asking, I will push it back further. I don't like it. It's my stream. I decide what we do or don't do. Anyway, let's look at this. Let's look at the screaming gremlin creature with way too huge eyes. Same reason they're still anti-nuclear energy people, because they've been fed propaganda. It's like funny, right? Immediately shuts down nuclear power in Germany. Energy costs sky rise sky high. Crazy, huh? So I'll show that Sweden complains about Germany using up too much energy. Yeah, wonderful. We had this before. Alright. This is next. Clips that made Chibidoki famous. This is the third one. We have the trilogy out here going on. These were supposed to be the most unhinged ones, so we'll actually see. Honestly, she's most on this side, actually, throughout the video, so I can just stay here, right, once the initial clip is over. Also, please consider liking and subscribing, I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going in.
That's a lot of damage. How about a little more?
Bye-bye, Poke. Take care, Eliza. Bye-bye. Also, did he just stab her?
No, that's a lot of damage.
Is there even a way to damage this woman still? From everything I've seen, isn't this just like total damage already has been done a while ago?
Oh, do you want to see my search history? Look at my search history. It's this. Look at this. It's Eurobeat.
Eurobeat? Interesting. What is there anything? Okay, funny TikTok. VTubers are us. Chibidoki. Intense anime music. No, Musk. Intense anime Musk. Intense writing music. Best of Ghost Stories dub. Mia saw you. Eurobeat. Stu Killer's birthday. Mr. Crab. What? But Mr. Krabs Chrissy? Fair, girl. Fair. I get it. I get it. Mr. Krabs is a real hottie.
I'm trying to kidnap the princess, but I'm dummy thick and the clap of my butt cheeks keeps alerting the Mario Bros. Wow, how are you? How's your day, how's your day, Pocky? How's your day? What'd you do today? Hi. What'd you just say to me?
Usually when I see shoes flying, it's usually Crocs, right? It's usually Crocs. I see a ton of Crocs flying.
What'd you just say to me? Ha! Say it to my face! Come here. That's it. You know what? I'm moving the mic. Wait, I can't reach the camera! Okay, I'm gonna say it from down here.
Fair. The brain damage is strong in this one. Indeed, it is. It quite is Chibi violently attracted to Bowser. Bowser? But why Bowser? Well, that's an oddly specific, one.
What you gotta say to me? I'm sorry, guys. I cannot reach it. Ah! Come here, can I smack it? I killed it.
Consequences. Also, is that in the background poop? Is she in the sewers?
Who did that?
Show feet, show feet, show feet.
Right here. Stapled to my door because I'm an adult and my sister bought it for me.
No, show feet, show feet, show feet, show feet, show feet.
Let me guess. Is she like on the feet rating website? Is that what's going on? For sure, must be the case, for sure. Ultimately, right, must be the case. Right, not gonna lie.
I woke up with a microphone.
Show feet, show D's nuts, feet, show feet, nuts, nuts, show feet, sheets, feet, nuts, nuts, show feet, D's feet, show.
Chad, I'm so glad being able to function in society as a human who's terrified of cans. I'm so glad there's no cans in these parts.
Maybe we'll have a different embarrassing story.
I crawled out of my mom's womb.
Did you just sniff? Outrageous. Also, is she like scared? I have the feeling, I get the feeling she's like scared of cans. By the way, I do own Dead Space 1. We could stream that eventually. Sounds fun. Sounds fun.
Today, and then put those grippers away. Oh, hold up, chat. Sorry, hold on. Let me mute real quick. My dogs are barking. Sorry, I forgot to mute. No, I commit tax fraud like a normal adult. Tax fraud like a normal adult. God dang it, dude! She sounds more like me than me!
Good evening, my lovely viewers.
What? Huh? Crazy diabetes, diabolical, chibi. Diabetes, huh? Hang on. Calm down! Calm down! Poking Dead Space. Hey, I have played it before. It's not that deep.
Who respect me, right? My lovely viewers. They
Why does she put... What the fuck? Where did that come from? Where's... Real voice! Real voice! There, we got it.
respect me. Yes, they do.
I feel like I'm sending some of these videos for my...
I'm streaming!
You're streaking?
Is
it illegal?
What?
Want to thank you for curing me of my sexism. I used to think a woman's place is in the kitchen, but after seeing this, well...
Is he Gordon Ramsay? Because I know for a fact Gordon Ramsay is one of the few men that tells women to get out of the kitchen. And yeah, I do know a person that burned spaghetti. Yes. Yes. We know this, right? Streaking, I suppose. Anyway, I do know this, right? We've seen it on Twitter. So there's that.
Funniest VTuber of the year is... My stupid background, dude. It looks stupid. Chibi Ducky! Congratulations! What the fuck? Yeah! Wait, she's gonna find out. She's gonna find out. She hears it. She's freaking out. My Make-A-Wish! My Make-A-Wish! It happened! My Make-A-Wish! No. Chibi, congratulations on winning funniest VTuber of the year. What the frick? I think she's muted. Oh! Am I supposed to be talking? Am I supposed to be talking?
It doesn't stop. It does. Yeah, am I supposed to be talking? Apparently not, because you're getting nuked on stream by a ton of shit flying at you, like a bear or a deer. Is that boxing gloves? Bananas? Presents? Whatever, bro. Everything. Just everything. Did you see Leaflet won most racist VTuber of the year? Yep. Not surprised.
Oh my god, China's throwing items at me! I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Oh my god, China's throwing items at me! I'm sorry! Hey, what's up? You are the funniest VTuber of the year. Oh my god, wait, I'm so scuffed. I have the stream muted. Oh my god, why did you nominate me for this? What's up? I can hear you now, I think. Alright. Wait, I'm wrestling on Ray's stream right now? What the what does that mean?
Chibi's been eliminated!
What the fuck? Kill me! Are you kidding me? I open it! I am a virgin cuck in every universe, even the freaking WWE. Are you kidding me? I was about to go spectate myself, and I gotta live.
Quick. Top 5 favorite dinner foods.
Your mom, your dad, your grandma, your freaking uncle, your aunt, your great.
That's interesting. That's pretty interesting. I can feel my neurons. I can feel my neurons exploding. There's nothing firing up there at all. This is crazy. And every clip is just worse and worse. I can feel chat. Let's be real. What we're feeling here right now is collective. Like a collective version of neural degradation, right? Absolute brain rot, and I enjoy it.
Grandpa, your great grandma. I'm ready to make an intergenerational sandwich with your family, baby. I have raw sex appeal. I have raw sex appeal.
Retro
Welcome to my territory. I am the leader of this domain.
You walked around my turret. That was
I can't see!
Girl, I didn't have flashbang.
I'm blind. I can't.
Okay, fair. Okay, bro. That is so mean. I can't see I can't see famous last words. for some odd reason, she went crazy over Mudeng, and she also went crazy over our little hippo, right, called Brötchen. Which is literally just buns. Right? Brötchen. That's our little hippo. She wants that one too. Is that milk on top of her head?
Hi guys, this is the Bangkok. Shut up! I want Mooding! Shut up! Morning! Morning!
This little thing is the definition of 100% attack, 0% damage.
Chibi, congratulations so much on winning. Is there anything you'd like to tell your mom at home, or your family at home, or maybe the police?
No, I'm not gonna self-report.
Admit your crimes.
I'm so surprised that I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. Thank you for letting me pay to win to get the win again. Thank you, Fillion, for not listening. Thank you so much. It was only 10K.
Untrue. She's joking.
Thank you so much. That's what my content does to you. I farted. I really hope the mic didn't pick that up. I farted.
Does it matter if the mic has picked it up or not? Does it matter? Like, really? Does it? Like, does it matter? I feel like it doesn't matter. I feel like it doesn't matter. Because you said it. You don't, right? Huh? That's counterproductive.
I'm gonna be so for real with you right now. Please, I really hope the mic didn't pick that up, because someone's gonna clip it and jack off to it. In that game and more of a just like gambling game. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to say hi?
Sure.
It's my mom.
Hi, chat.
Oh, I need my reading glasses.
They're right there.
Let's see. Hi, chat. I love you too.
Oh!
Oh my god, it's so fast.
They have a crush on you.
Oh my god, I have a crush on them.
Don't say that! Don't say that!
I'm looking for your new daddy.
The delusional chatters. Her mom is not safe. Not safe at all. That's outrageous. Some 40, 50-year-old dude in the chat is like, yeah, my time has come.
Love you, bye, chat.
Oh no.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but we'll talk after. Don't worry.
Buy my chat babies and buy my chat daddies.
There you go. I love you. Oh, it's my mom.
Is everybody having a good Valentine's Day?
They're all alone.
That's true. They are watching your stream.
They wanted to ask if you would be their Valentine.
Collectively?
Yeah, will you be my viewers' Valentine? They wanted me to ask you.
Well, Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a risk and say, sure.
Wait, really?
Why not?
Wait, so are they my stepdad?
Love you. Goodbye, chat babies. Goodbye, chat daddies.
Stop saying that, Puggy!
I like her mom. She's fun. I like her mom. Brain blast, but the blast gun firing into my skin. It's a reverse harem. Why is it that like every time a mom shows up in one of these ladies' streams, right? Their mom shows up. It's like the chat is just instantly like neurons firing. The mom's here, and the VTuber herself becomes secondary. Okay, Croc Rock.
Stop! I'm thinking. She keeps saying that. Maybe she'll pop up like a jump scare. I don't know. I connected to like a collab room. Good evening. Guys, can we please get some donations? My big naturals are aching my back.
Princess Peach, what do you think?
Well, There it is. I mean, fair. That pick, fair. I'll give her that. Fair. Yeah, I'll give her that. Fine. Fine. In other words, guys, if you want to date this gremlin, you gotta log in. You gotta look like that version of Bowser, otherwise you'll have problems.
Español, rápido. Español, rápido.
Vamos, Gemi, vamos, Gemi.
¡Yeah, Gemi! ¡Adiós, Gemi! ¡Adiós, Gemi! ¡Adiós, Gemi, puta!
No pasa
¡Adiós!
No.
¡Adiós! You threw the game! 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 You threw the game, puta! You threw the game! You lost the game! All of that!
Honestly, I couldn't do this. I couldn't watch her that much. I'll be real. It's the screaming so much, right? I'm a relaxed streamer, but then again, I watch Kirsche when she you know, covers some outrageous online stuff. I just remember the food play. Don't remind me. Bowser's who the average woman is attracted to, at least the ones that read. Fair. Wait, do you think she reads Bowser X Chibi fan fictions? I'm pretty sure it exists.
You lost! All of that and you lost! All of that and you threw the game! All of that and you lost the game because your team didn't watch you. It was your fault! Your fault! Hey, oh, great, and great. She's also beautiful. I'm cooked. She's freaking gorgeous. I'm so cooked. I yelled at a beautiful woman. No! Bonita! Oh, frick, I yelled at a beautiful woman! Lo siento, yo soy puta, tú eres bonita, bonita! Gemi, tú eres mi amiga, lo siento. Bonita, bonita, bonita. Yo soy pendeja, lo siento. I was trying to be fun.
Oh my god, come on, baby.
Español, rápido. Español, rápido.
It's so well animated. I like that a lot. Maybe they were right not teaching women to read for so long. Maybe.
No pasa nada,
Shh. Yeah, I think we got undone because we don't speak Spanish.
Burp caught in 4K. Or 1080p, 60 FPS.
It's okay.
We are out.
Yeah. We don't speak Spanish. So I don't think they like me.
TV. Go.
¡Buenos días, putos! ¡Buenos días, putos! ¡Buenos días, putos!
Aggressively screams in Spanish. That is all I'm getting here. Wow, this is fun. This is my neurons are decaying. I swear to God, they are. They are. Okay, you watch my short video? Yes, I can.
¡Necesito, por favor! ¡Por favor, putos!
No, no, no!
¡Putos!
Oh my God, she's so aggressive.
¿Cuántos somos?
Hey, control yourself. Hopefully, next is Phillian, isn't it? That should be next on the list. Anyway, so to summarize this whole thing is, yep. I get why she's a beloved, at least. I get that, and my neurons have officially started decaying, which is very, very fun. This was fun. This was funny. This was funny, especially I'm blind gunshots. Fantastic. Alrighty. Let's watch the Croc one, right? He's a good boy. I'll let it slide once. Into his anyway, never mind. I need to click something. It starts loading. Oh god, oh god. Calm down. I should also move myself over. She's flat. Just don't tell her that. Fork fountain kitchen. I'm not surprised, am I? I'm not particularly surprised. Anyway, this can't be that bad, right? You don't appreciate me, I will touch you tonight. Is that enough appreciation? Anyway. Jeff the Killer. Terry bad horror game. Terrible bad? Terry bad? Anyway, this is by John Wolfie. This looks like an older video, honestly. Because, holy fuck, it is 13 years. Anyway, apparently a terrible game. So we haven't had one in a while, so I'd like to look at that. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, we're going in. I'm curious. HC, harshly critical.
Greetings, critical viewers. This is a game called Jeff the Killer. Some of you may remember that I played a game called Illusion Ghost Killer featuring this guy.
Did he change his name at one point? Or is this like his thingy? Anyway, PewDiePie played this as well. It's 4 minutes. This can't be that good, bro. This can't be that good. Oh god. It's also like that old ass creepy pasta like pic. Oh my god. At least we got game menu, right? Which, right? New game, load game, exit game. That means at least we already have like the option to save. That's a good sign.
So, I'm expecting this one to be equally terrible. And we'll start a new game. Yeah, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. Oh well, I'll play it anyway, because what the hell. So, yeah, Illusion Ghost Killer is pretty bad if you haven't seen that.
Yes, he changed his name because he didn't like it. Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, sure. Oh, harshly critical. It does actually work. Anyway. Because it is very critical. Still loading, by the way.
You should check it out. I didn't know who Jeff the Killer was at that point. I have 2,000 health. Why do I have 2,000? That seems a little...
Yeah, if you have epilepsy, you probably shouldn't watch this. He has no beard. It's still very patchy, I'd say, as well. Well, it is 13 years ago, so there's that.
A little excessive. Okay. Well. What is this? What is this?
The flickering is pissing me off. Whoever made this, the flickering is pissing me off. There's a different kind of anger I get when seeing constant flickering.
Is that a saw? Dude, you used it wrong. You're not supposed to use saws to impale. Press enter to use? You don't press E?
I can't even see anything, mind you. I can't see anything. Darkness!
That's a little inconvenient, man. Okay. So, it's funny, because when I played Illusion Ghost Killer, I think... Hey, there's a...
It just keeps flickering. It just keeps flickering. It is pissing me. It's angering me. I'm getting angry.
Key and... What is it with people hiding keys in the toilet? It's like, I didn't know who Jeff the Killer was at the time, but then I got all these comments, like, I think half... Oh, shit! What the fuck? Wait...
I think that's the first time I saw him get a genuine jump scare. Not bad. Well, at least it managed to do something that the previous games didn't.
Steal the sound effect from SCP Containment Breach, too. It's like the most terrifying sound effect in the world. Oh, requires a key to open. Yeah, I think half the comments were like... Why was he so fat? He was fat. Did you see that guy? Big old tub of lard. Anyway.
Jack the Eater. Jeff the Eater. Anyway. Jeff the Devourer. Jeff the Burger King. This is exactly how every dark scene looks in current films. Old films in the dark looked so much better. I would disagree with that. Predator 2. You can't see shit either. That one movie with Tom Cruise. Same thing.
I think half the comments were like, hey, it's Jeff the Killer. And so I put Jeff the Killer in the title because I was sick of hearing it. And people were still commenting like, hey, it's Jeff the Killer. It's Jeff. Did you know it's Jeff the Killer? It's like, yeah, it's in the title now. I did that so I wouldn't get comments about it anymore, but loop-de-doo. Oh, you actually have a gun? I can shoot at Jeff the Killer? Dude, I have 2,000 health. Pressing enter to open is really... Are you serious? That did like...
Jeff the Killer? Why is there a giant spider then? This is Jeff the Killer, not Jeff the Spider.
Like 50 damage to me. What is this game? This...
Are you sure, bro? Drained like 500 health points. Besides the lights, this game looks okay. The flickering's pissing me off. These type of horror games were so popular back then. Just walking allowed as hell. Just walking allowed as hell jump scares, I suppose. No, he killed my roommate. Anyway, the only spider that I tolerate is Lucas the jumping spider. None other.
Okay, seriously. Well, it's a bicycle that reminds me of my childhood. Innocence, Jeff the Killer. Oh no. Okay, this game is really bad. What the fuck was that? What was he doing? Ringing around the rosy? Okay, these require keys. There appears to be a body right here. Too bad I can't freaking see. Okay, so wait.
Neither can I, big guy. Why is there a bike, by the way? But neither can I.
Hang on, I need 2 keys. I haven't even seen one since that original key. Of course, that one was kind of difficult to spot.
Wow. The frame rate just went into the war trenches. Anyway, what about the spider from the second Harry Potter film? What about the spider from the third Lord of the Rings movie? How about that? That's racing against spiders. Yeah, I agree, John. We can't see shit. We can't see shit. I guess the gun.
Maybe... Oh, God. What's back here? Okay, I don't think I can do this. Open the chest. Nope. Open drawers. You can't jump, so there's that. Open the barrel. Look on the shelf. Look over here. Press enter everywhere. I don't see anything. How come Jeff the Killer did like 500 damage to me? What was that? Nope. It does not open that. Hang on. I don't think I'm supposed to be going this far back. Okay, we're moving on. I don't feel like...
Bro's done. Bro has had enough. That spider was tiny. Seen bigger ones in my shoe. Are you a fucking giant? They have giants in Australia? Things are just getting worse.
Like wasting time in there. Okay, so seriously this... What, it opened anyway. It opens anyway. The door opens anyway. Hello? I don't even... Dude, these are lifted straight from SCP containment.
I mean, yeah, they are. They are. They are. Which is very interesting.
Breach. And also, I didn't see anything, so... Seriously, like, just how bad some of these games are, it's like... I don't know. Did I just pick something up? I don't know. What was that sound? Look at the bloody fridge that I can't open. Okay, E is apparently to lean or to strafe? This is weird. How come this is like the object that the focus of the room is on? By the way, enter. I know I'm just like piling it on, but enter? That makes me lift my hand off the mouse. Okay, I don't see anything in here. Maybe he shows up when I'm on my way out. Ah! That was a cube!
Again? Again? Yeah, it is a cube though. Yeah. It is a cube. It is a cube. The cube.
With his face on it. Did anyone else see that? Oh my god, I swear. I swear to God. What the fuck? This door opens! Is it just all the same key? Like not multiple keys, just all the same key? Oh my god. You can't crouch though. Oh my god.
It just doesn't stop. It just keeps going. This is awful. This is terrible. You could make this game okay if you did like 1 week of work. I suppose. Better than GD Nomad games. You can tell because John isn't getting particularly angry about this.
It's literally a cube with his fucking face on it. You gotta be kidding me. That's it?
Game complete. See? That's not bad.
Oh my god. Why did I play this? I guess I'll put the download link in the description, although I'm not really sure what the point is. Alright, well. Oh my god. Don't. Okay. If you enjoyed this video, like it, please, and I will see you guys later for more games that are...
Anyway, yeah, this is a terrible game still regardless. Never mind. Execute the creator of this game. He's going to hurt someone. He is, absolutely. Is this as bad? I think is this right? Nah. It's so short. It probably didn't cost money, so there's also that, right? The GD Nomad games cost money. So there's that. Anyway, terrible. Absolutely atrocious. Absolutely horrendous games, right? Horrible. Bad. Oh my god. Why are these so bad? Why are these so terrible? Alright, let's look at... The thing is, like, I don't even get gun memes. So, like, it's like a problem, right? I don't even understand. I think, honestly... We're gonna do this one. This one interests me much more than he put the thumb in it. Mainly because I don't really get gun memes. I think this will be the last one, right? So we'll do that one. I want you to watch really want you to watch the F1 videos. You have to sleep. I have to sleep soon, but it's your stream. I'm gonna do this one as the last one. Loud jump scare. Because this is interesting. This interests me. Right. So there's that. This interests me. I could do the car one next time. That's fine too. Right? They're not running away. I'll just keep them in there. Anyway. The surprising genius behind the funniest Souls-like by Mitch Mannix. We're gonna go into this. I have no idea what to expect, to be fair, because, you know, I've only played ever Dark Souls 1 and 3. So I'm actually not even that well versed in Souls-like. So there's that. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. We'll go in. Let's see. This can't be that bad, right? It can't be that great, right? Not bad, great. We'll see.
Oh, thank God, a bonfire.
Suddenly.
What? Ah!
In that case, I'll sleep now. 1:20 a.m. is a good time to sleep. You should have gone way earlier. Also, got this. Did this man just get a surprise attack by a fucking choo-choo? By a fucking train? The fuck? What? That's crazy. Dimension traveling train, by the way.
Why do you torment me?
When it comes to Souls-likes, we have seen a wide range of offerings, from a continuation of the high fantasy epics, all the way down to utter ridiculousness.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Jesus Christ!
But there is one other that for me slipped through the net after releasing in 2022. A Souls-like that actually really surprised me, being both at times utterly hilarious.
Nice.
As well as having sparks of pure genius. A blend of, on occasion, brutal difficulty.
No. Oh, God.
Mixed with a highly unique world filled with all manner of oddities. Today we are diving into a game that took me completely by surprise, while leaving plenty to be discovered if you plan on trying it out yourself. And an adventure I...
Was that just an incredibly fast rolling fireball of doom? Doom.
regret to say, finally led to a Souls-like breaking me completely.
I can't believe that just happened.
Today, my friends, we go on an adventure into the last hero of Nostalgaia. And while we're on the subject of punishing gaming environments, if you prefer to roll with some friends into an exciting, massively multiplayer fight for survival, you can check out today's sponsor, StarCraft X. StarCraft X is a satisfying blend of FPS and RPG, providing a huge online experience set in a Chernobyl exclusion zone, filled with all kinds of PvE and PvP activities, including deep, brand new faction storylines, heart-pounding player clan warfare, and even the opportunity to set up your own shelter, customizing and crafting in your own personal slice of this unforgiving land. Jump in now and experience their Black Raid event, where players take on the role of black market mercenaries, tasked with stealing advanced technologies to extract with before time runs out, fighting back creatures with unique abilities, making the mission even more challenging. StarCraft X is free to play, and if you use the welcome bonus code in the description or in the pinned comment of this video, you can get your hands on some juicy in-game rewards to get you started. Head to the description to find out more about this brutal but oh so satisfying MMO. Huge thank you to StarCraft X for sponsoring the video. Now, let's get nostalgic. The last hero of Nostalgaia begins with without a doubt the silliest character creator I have ever seen. Getting a look at our stick figure starting character, with Souls-like mainstays such as being able to select a...
Interesting. So we got different classes with different attributes over total defense. Interesting. The formatter. A brutal savage who... Help! Voice crack. A brutal savage who wields heavy weapons, favors strength. Interesting.
Starting class, coupled with a range of sliders that do absolutely bugger all, leaving me baffled at their inclusion. And when beginning the game...
I feel like this is made because you're probably not gonna stay a stickman, I'm assuming.
Realizing that I was not the only one.
Yes, indeed. It is called Nostalgaia, where the... Wait! Cut! Was that your customization screen? Oh, almighty save me. I don't know what you are, but you're no hero. So, I'm not playing the intro.
Loading into the starting zone and going through the typical motions of many Souls-likes, checking the controls and hacking away at our first enemies. It's not long before stumbling across some not-so-typical sights.
Never mind. They do stay like this. The characters. Staging room, NPCs only.
Arriving at what seems to be a break room for the land's NPCs. A room with reminders such as remember to occasionally miss and die with gratitude hanging on its walls. Curious indeed. Made even more strange with the narrator continuing to be a bit of a tit to our hero.
What was this peculiar stick figure? And had it even noticed how retro everything was becoming? Of course not. It was made out of pixels. It was part of the problem.
Progressing further, we come across a...
Suddenly, a simple sentry transformed into an impossible adversary. One written to crush the stick figure on sight.
But not to worry, as after some expertly executed stealth, we find the first of the bonfire stand-ins in a beacon, something that once again, the narrator is having a bit of a tantrum about.
A beacon. A conduit through which heroes once communed with Nostalgaia. Don't you dare lay your pixels upon it!
But once touching it, activating a surprising reaction.
It looks like the surrounding areas have changed. Is he traveling back and forth in time? What is this?
This quite stylish transformation we will find out a little bit more about later on, but of course is commented upon once again by the grumpy narrator.
What in the void are you? Oh, you don't know what you are, or why you're here. Do you want me to guide you? You are no hero, and I am no travel brochure. Now, I have no idea what your little gestures were meant to convey, probably rude, but I will tell you what you are. Proof that Nostalgaia is dying.
Making our way towards the exit, we are thrown into the first boss encounter, strutting towards us.
I love in this self-aware narrator. It's fun. All right, Spirit of Heroism. So that's the first boss. Bro is probably gonna die plenty. Bro is probably going to die plenty, is my assumption, because that's always what happens. Dying a lot.
Like a backup dancer in a music video. Taking out this foe after suffering.
Well, he is a statue, so you'd expect him to move a little, a little stiff.
Suffering our first death, along with getting an achievement for getting an achievement, we receive a new shield for our trouble, and make it out of the tutorial zone, coming across Nostalgaia's version of Firelink Shrine, that to my surprise actually gives off a similar feeling of Souls games' main hubs of the past, such as the wistful ambience of Majula Sin in Dark Souls 2.
As far as I'm aware, people don't really like Dark Souls 2. As far as I'm aware, people are not a fan of that one. Or people are mixed about it.
Speaking with the old man, we are introduced to one of Nostalgaia's own unique mechanics, seeing that most weapons and armor have with them a memory described in their item description that could be anywhere in the game's world, and that after tracking down the location, the item can be remembered, ridding it of its pixelation, enhancing its power and unlocking abilities. With this first one stating, "My wielder once thrust me into the heart of an old man," which can be remembered by simply standing in front of him, and not how I assumed it would work.
Friends, beware. Naughty, 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 naughty.
Naughty.
Wait, not yet? Wait, what do you mean not yet? Did you kill him later?
Picking up our first set of armor and still being berated by the surly narrator.
The hero's journey, too arduous for its meager pixels, would prove a humorous spectacle.
We make our way into the game's first main area of Oreshaft Village, taking out some enemies to level up, as well as trying to figure out if the messages left around the land are indeed, as with the Souls series' other players, or just the developers placing down silly jokes, such as one here blocking the door calling out bad game design. Oh, and if you're one of those that intentionally leave notes like this in Souls games in awkward locations, you are in fact a massive ballbag. Nostalgaia's combat system is a pretty like-for-like copy of its source material, but does have some nuances as we'll see a little later on with the magic system, an endeavor that led to a bit of a disaster. Light and heavy attacks with one- or two-handed weapons as well as parrying foes is possible, with the foes themselves at this early stage coming in the form of both small and armored henchmen, as well as ranged enemies firing crossbows, and throwing what I like to call the pants-crapping debuff, hurling some kind of goo afflicting our hero with a very suspicious...
Wait, what? Like, do they function like Arthropleura? The stuff hits you and your armor just like goes poof?
...looking walk to get out of range. Working through the town and getting some confirmation that the messages are indeed player-created.
That's why it's...
Ew. We come across a strange warrior who asks us to attack him.
Hero. Hurt us.
Leading to a rather ominous message.
Yes! Our bond Big.
Masochist? Masochist. Probably masochist. Anyway.
Battling through the village and tussling with a baffling mini-boss.
Well, I've got no idea what he's got to do with this.
Just up from here, we meet a reoccurring character in the Reservoir of Pain.
I'm the Reservoir of Pain. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
A genuinely terrifying sunburnt Pac-Man looking fellow, who reveals a bit about the game's plot, along with our first primary objective to hunt down the first of the 3 Great Ones. This odd bloke is also unkillable, with him rather enjoying being smacked about.
Oh, I can take it.
Okay, I'm never doing that again.
A creepy little dude, indeed. Without going into any of the later plot points, the game's setting is by far one of its most creative and interesting elements, set in a world degrading back into pixels, with retro spreading across the land, taking back its environments, as well as its inhabitants and items. As we saw before when remembering an item, it will transform from its pixelated state back into a fully 3D model, bringing it back to full power to fight back the army of often vicious pixelated enemies.
Interesting. So the world is falling apart and basically going pixelated. Essentially, that's what it at least looks like. That's what it looks like. That's what's happening, from what I can tell.
I need to speak to a manager immediately.
Exploring further, unlocking more beacons to heal the land and level up. We also unlock access to both the game's blacksmith, along with a vendor, who we have to tie to the wall with shackles to stop him from ravaging us, turning our attention to tracking down the first of the Great Ones. It's in the mines we get a further taste of just how unforgiving the game's mobs can be, especially when coupled with the game's nasty habit of now and again just forgetting it has enemy hitboxes, or deciding that lock-ons are purely for aesthetics, with lock-ons, as with most Souls-likes, most definitely required to avoid embarrassing incidents. Not a constant issue, luckily, but definitely something when it comes to...
Yeah, imagine standing right in front of someone, hitting them and missing. Or your fist just phasing through them. Fantastic.
To a big sword and strength build especially, adds a bit of unwelcome challenge to its dungeons. Speaking of challenge, we come across the first of the 3 Great Ones, and are greeted once again by the curiously armored knight, who offers to help us in this upcoming battle, which for the first of the 3 is pretty easy, especially with his help, with this one also including a cheeky nod to FromSoft's additional phase fakeouts in some of its boss encounters.
Oh no, the health bar fills up again. Oh no, that's terrifying. Second phase.
With the difficulty ramping up as the game progresses, as we'll see a little later, but I won't be showing any of the more plot-central encounters in case you plan on picking up the game yourself. In victory, we are rewarded another weapon, as well as another chat with the pink pantsless nightmare.
Okay, either this is the same person leaving these, or there is a very concerning theme around fingers in arses developing here.
Battling towards the next Great One, being insulted and harassed by the ever more unhinged narrator.
Perhaps one more interference? Suddenly, choo-choo!
Why?
What the fuck? What? Random bullshit go. Bro is just being randomly run over by a train.
Why?
What's nice to see in Nostalgaia is a genuine attempt to add a unique spin to its world, leaning away from the standard gritty fantasy setting to provide unique and interesting feeling environments to explore, something that goes a long way since a lot of the other...
It's essentially a Souls-like with designed to be humorous and a little retro style, right? In comparison to like the usual dark fantasy setting, right? Which is quite often, right, the case, right? A little bit away from Berserk and more into something more like this, I guess, in this case.
Elements of the game are so close to the mark in its emulation of the Soulsborne series. Highly cryptic messages with mysterious characters that some, as I found out, can actually be attacked. Finding out after taking a swing, expecting another silly line of dialogue, but only managing to totally ruin the questline in the process.
Hope no longer blinds me.
Weapon owning, for example, is exactly how it can be found in the Souls games. And they even include little messages left by other players littering the floors. That after a particularly hair-raising moment, finding out that they're not just for visuals alone.
Oh, I guess I could probably use... Oh! Ooh! Too
Consider hole. There's a lot of stuff going on with holds. Rating 9. Yeah. Wait, what? So was he supposed to fall through that, but the hitbox, right, of that note activated?
Sure. Adventuring further, we battle through the mines into a great hall, housing some highly recognizable references to other games. However, as opposed to a lot of other parody titles, these actually being tied into the game's plot, of the entire video game world degrading backwards into its more primitive pixelated beginnings. Reaching a grand auditorium, we are greeted by the hooded man once more, who grants us the power to restore the flickering doors around the land that have lost their memory, not only allowing us to progress but also unlocking the doors we have already seen on our adventures, further encouraging revisits to locations, along with unlocking the memories for our items, taking out another shrieking mini-boss.
What? Oh.
Hassan? What is bro yapping? What is bro talking about?
Good lord, calm down. I've never known a pothead be so aggressive.
We come across a locked-up hero, finally getting to start some of the game's side quests. As I mentioned before, the side quests in Nostalgaia are just as incredibly cryptic as those found in FromSoft's offerings.
Ah! You must seek out the spectral chimpanzee and cup the balls of the dragon of Anubis while blasting a fart into the face of the elder turtle. Only then will you unlock the door of the angry hamsters.
Safe to say that even if you don't do something silly like me, swinging a sword at an assumed unkillable NPC in a bid to get some more crazy dialogue, the side quests can be easily missed and become completely locked out of, but worth looking into, as most of the characters are not only really well voiced, even the bonkers ones.
Oops. Heroism need no longer be the spirit of division,
but will actually open up a couple of additional bosses to fight for those brave enough to seek them out.
Oh, just do one, you bastard. Don't you understand? These are Souls-likes. I can't get them to repeat the dialogue if I don't get it in this clip, then I'm f***ed.
Taking on the next of the great ones that jacks the difficulty and silly factor up a decent...
Gnome, the consumer. Well, he certainly does look like a consumer, that much is clear. Heals a spear. Looks like a little bit like a gargoyle demon kind of thing.
Notch, we unlock access to the next area, by way of the narrator, surprisingly, coming in handy for once.
Suddenly, and for no reason at all, and without implying any third-party emotional investment, hope bridged the divide.
Well then, wahoo.
This next area is a nightmare-tinged version of the Lost...
Wow! He became useful for once. I'm kind of surprised at this one.
Woods from The Legend of Zelda, complete with recognizable skellies and skull kids to battle, while exploring its dark corners. And of course with this game, also having some less than expected elements tucked within.
Ah, I'm stuck on the freaking golf course.
But once again adding some pretty creative and on occasion disturbing spin-offs on some gaming icons.
Oh my god, not Wahoo. Definitely not Wahoo.
It's here for me where the attempt at creating intricate shortcuts, mostly via the NPC break rooms, clashed face first into the restriction of only being able to travel to one chosen beacon, as opposed from bonfire to bonfire as seen in the Souls games. Some of the game's shortcuts are well placed, but as the amount of areas increased, with them all housing remembrance locations to backtrack to, only being able to choose one beacon to travel to, over time started to become a bit of a pain in my assholes, running around the break rooms trying to remember where each of the shortcuts came out in a particular zone, and wished the developers had simply let the players travel from them freely from any of the game's beacons, something that only got more frustrating as we got deeper into the game's world.
Rehabilitation is not cruelty.
Try finger. Well, can you stop not touching the fucking ghosts? Anyway. Everything, finger this, finger that, hold this, hold that. Can you stop?
I knew it!
Advancing further and getting access to quite an impressive amount of gear options, it was decided at this time to try out some of the game's magic, with a respec required to switch over to a caster build, an endeavor that turned out to be a bit of a disaster. Initially, the game did not allow for respecs at all, but has since been patched in, being able to track down one of the luckily already obtained tiny stick figures to reset stats and try out another mode of destruction, going for a magic scaling weapon, along with a number of spells dubbed codes to unleash hell, such as an exploding puppy for single target damage, sending chainmail to hit multiple enemies, and throwing magical knives to inflict debuffs. Nostalgaia, unlike some other Souls-likes, does not have a way of recharging magic uses, aside from getting more of the spellcasting items from dropped foes, with these drops being RNG. And without a strong scaling weapon, I found I was burning through my reserves of access required to cast spells, and had to make a number of trips to the vendor to buy more, while coming across even stronger foes.
Oh god, I must...
Okay, interesting, weird, shadowy figures. Honestly, this looks really fun. I probably can't run or play it, but it looks fun. It looks very fun.
Scare... Oh. Well then.
Oh. Oh, he just fell through one of these holes. Interesting.
To say this was troubling, so I looked up where I might be able to find another respec token if things don't work out, to allow me to progress, which to my dismay I could not find anywhere online at all.
Why am I doing such a crap amount of damage? I believe there's only one. You'd have to start all over again. You idiot, why didn't you realize this could happen? This is worse than you trying to pronounce Descartes in the last video. That respec token could literally be anywhere. What are you going to do? There's nothing online. You total tit.
Well, magic it is.
Faced with the reality of the one remaining respec token being literally anywhere in the game, a vow was made to make this magic spec work no matter what the cost. To rise and become the mightiest spellcaster Nostalgaia has ever seen, beginning with loading up on access to smack down the land's foes, followed immediately by the game bugging out and no longer allowing me to buy in bulk, and in my confusion accidentally selling my entire stash's worth of magic uses, finishing off with the shop now for some reason being out of stock, even though I had just sold them literally hundreds of the things, with this now stopping me from buying any more for the rest of the entire game, as well as leaving me at a more than 200 magic deficit.
I can't believe that just happened.
A dire situation indeed, but helped at least a bit once we were able to infuse our weapon for a nice bump in magic scaling, to help with tackling the remainder of the game. With the
Why on earth does the shield look like the Hylian shield? Whatever, bro. Fair. Very interesting, very interesting. Oh, we got a lava region as well.
And keeping up the interesting and fun to explore environments, but dialing back on the quirky moments somewhat, outside of the narrator continuing his quips and frequent bouts of ballbaggery.
I am trained!
Well then.
Along with a quite ridiculous looking special ability to unlock later down the line.
Okay.
He can become a pixel. He can become pixelated and then slide across the wall, I suppose. That's a thing, I guess. Not bad. Hey, not bad. That's interesting. Yo, that reminds me of A Link Between Worlds. It's literally the same. Hold up, that's cool.
The hero of Nostalgaia overall has a couple of interesting and unique mechanics, and its remembrance system for items and doors, breathing life into zones long after the first visit. Has some challenging sections, but nothing that would be too much of a hurdle for those who frequently play and enjoy Souls-likes. The game sticks so hard to so many of its source materials elements.
I mean, obviously, there's combat-wise not much of a difference, right? There is a difference, right? I think from the magic at least, right? And some mechanics, right? Like the going along the walls, right? But like mechanics-wise, sure, but like also humor, the concept, right, of like the world getting destroyed because, right, getting more pixelated and stuff, and you depixelizing it, whatever you want to call that, right? That's an interesting and fun concept, honestly. And I mean, you know, the narrator, that's also pretty funny, right? Having a narrator. But I think overall, right, it sticks close to the formula, right? Though we gotta fix some bugs here, like, right? Not see bad. I'm used to bad hitboxes because I play Monster Hunter, so like fair, right? But like, come on, you shouldn't hit through your enemies. And furthermore, right? You shouldn't what's the word? Be able to, right, not sell stuff anymore or buy stuff anymore in the shop, like the shop glitching, right? That shouldn't be particularly a thing. But the enemy design is also fun, right? You, the non-pixelated person, fighting the pixelated guys and stuff. That looks very fun. Fair.
It can feel a little bit all too familiar, along with it causing some frustration in its implementation of some of these elements. As explained earlier, endlessly running around its halls trying to find a way back to a particular area, for example.
I have a distinct...
He just glitched through the elevator. Fantastic. Yeah, that's what he named, right? He can't just like go from bonfire, like he can just pick any bonfire, like one bonfire, if you want to call it that, or beacon or whatever you want to call it, right? Which I actually didn't quite get. Is it like one at a time? Right? And then it's like a cooldown, or was that not the case? I don't know. It didn't particularly explain that, which is like fine, right? That's like fine.
feeling this is not going to end well.
Where Nostalgaia succeeds is in its environmental design and overall feeling of its world, pairing extremely well with the frankly genius idea of having a parody video game where the parodies themselves are woven into the game's plotline and actually adds to the world.
Hopefully he said no homo. If he didn't say no homo, that would be a troublesome situation, right? He can only do that if he doesn't say no homo. He has, however, problem.
Building and the stories the game tells during its runtime, allowing for quite silly moments while still keeping the game's tone intact.
The train thing still got me. And the worst part is he even said choo-choos, just like I said it, right? Choo-choo!
Well, we all know what this is gonna say, don't we?
Finger. Hole. Whatever.
Hey. You've got...
Try patience. Rating 2. Wait, so these are actual player notes? Or am I stupid? I think he said that, right? Actual player notes.
You'd be f***ing kidding me.
I quite frankly was quite surprised playing through the game, with a runtime of around 12 hours, and very much a replayable experience for alternate builds or New Game Plus. I have to admit I really enjoyed it.
New Game Plus. So could you 100% the game, like unlocking everything, every weapon, probably every piece of armor so far? By the way, is that fucking Toad? It's like, that is Toad. To me, that is Toad. That is Toad with sword arms. But that to me is Toad.
Exploring this much more unique feeling world and setting for a Souls-like, even if a lot of the other elements feel all too familiar. At half the price of most other offerings, most likely due to its runtime. If you're
its friend? Anyway.
Looking to scratch that challenging itch while getting a laugh or two, I would give this one a look. Or take a look at a whole playlist of other hilarious games coming up now. Please drop the...
Yeah, we reacted to the fishing game last time, which was very, very fun, honestly. That looked very, very fun. Obviously, didn't get it, because I'm broke. But still, that looked very fun.
The video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for oh so much more. If you have any suggestions for interesting, nostalgic, or bonkers games you would like to see covered on the channel, then let me know. Thank you to my patrons as always.
Funny, he even covered Conquer. Conquer's Bad Fur Day. Not bad. Anyway, that is interesting. This game's interesting. The problem is like, right, have a potato laptop. I can't really run anything crazy. Actually, right? The only issue is actually the graphics card. That would probably explode, which is, right, the issue why I can't run most games, right? Even some of the fan-made native ports struggle, right? For example, the Eternal Sonata port, right? From this year, right? I can't play that, right? And there's no backwards compatibility for it either, which is very sad. But yeah, this looks like a fun game. If I could try it, I would try it. That looks fun. We should generally try a Souls game, honestly. To be fair, right? We should. One day, right? Start with like Dark Souls 1 or like Dark Souls 2, 3, right? Suffer a little bit, maybe eventually upgrade, play Elden Ring, so far and so on. But yeah, this was a fun one. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. And yeah, that was fun. Alrighty. Yep, that'll be the last video for today, right? For today, that'll be the last one. So yeah, that was some fun videos in there. Oh god, so many ghoul with gruel videos being recommended. I'll swap over here because I can. Demon Souls, clearly. Demon Souls. Yeah, fair. Whatever. I guess. Sure. For Massive Pain. But isn't Demon Souls, isn't the remake of that actually just a worse looking version? Anyway, as far as I've heard. Anyway. Like a worse version in general. Anyway. Yeah, I'll end here. Have a good day or night. Tomorrow we'll continue regularly with shiny hunting, and we're gonna do more Ark. I hopefully have prepared some really bonkers and strong Megalosaurus for tomorrow, hopefully. I'm still not quite done, right? I jumped from 179 level to 225, so that's nice. That's a bunch of mutations, by the way. I'll chill around almost 12k health. I'm gonna see if I can get that higher up still off the stream, but we'll see. I have to edit videos first, and then I'll decide. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye bye.